big thanks to AP Prep. Hey, if you want to earn the day, get your ass over to AP Prep. You can find them on the internet at apprep.info. Earn the day. This episode is also brought to you by Gillum Insurance, specializing in life, farm, auto, home, and commercial insurance. Give them a call at 740-395-0357 for a quote today. If you want to get treated right, save a little money, and make sure your stuff is covered properly, Gillum Insurance is Chubby Bartender endorsed.
Hey guys, huge thanks out there to Geiger Brothers Construction, professional engineering and commercial construction. Hey, give these guys a call, 740-286-0800. Hey, you'll be glad you did.
This episode is brought to you by your locally owned and operated McDonald's restaurants. They have been proudly serving Jackson and the surrounding area for over 40 years. Thank you to all of the communities that have supported us throughout the years. We truly appreciate your business. Get in there and try one of those apple fritters, man, and the other baked goods. The mun's got it going on.
Welcome, brother. Are we?
Damn, that's delicious.
Are we ready? Are we live?
Cheers.
We're live. Cheers.
Cheers, man.
Chris O'Boyle, ladies and gentlemen, the local real estate entrepreneur here. He's left the prison industry. Right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, we might make you talk about that.
We're going to make you talk about that, but
I'm fine.
Okay. You're feeling real free to talk about that now. Yeah.
I'm real free.
Yeah. Watch that mic here. You got to talk right in that thing. Yeah. You have to get in front of it.
I got to get in it. I got to get in it, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you got to get in that. You've had enough mics glued to your face. You know what to do. Hey, O'Boyle's a guy, if there's a mic around, it's typically in his hand.
I've seen this guy MC several talent shows at the Apple Festival, Little Queens contests, karaoke contests. I mean, this guy's not afraid of a microphone.
Oh, he's not. I love the mic, and I'll tell you, the more we do this,
the more you'll love it.
My personality will come out even better.
That's why I stuck that bottle up there. I've seen you with a mic and a bottle before.
Oh, I like it. I like it. Yeah,
I've had to come off the stage with a mic and a bottle before.
Is that right? Boy, this is good.
Not the Apple Festival. Not the Apple Festival.
Okay.
So, man, I tell you, I've known you now. How long have I known you, Boyle? 20 years?
I was thinking about this, Pudge. You know where we first met?
I do not.
We used to play basketball together at the YMCA.
At the YMCA, I remember that.
Yeah.
That would have been, let's see, early 2000s. I was on spring break back then.
Yeah, 2003 is when I moved here.
That I'd have been, yep.
And did you immediately start playing out there? Like, was it just like open gym type stuff?
Yeah.
It was an open gym. Yeah, it was open gym, but it was more. You
guys played the same teams, or I mean?
Oh no,
pick them up.
It was serious.
It was That's what's.
Either one of you guys ever cross each other over?
Oh, probably.
Now listen. I can shoot a three.
You can't?
I can.
Oh, okay. As soon as you're in range, as soon as you get out of the car, then basically.
Well, see where I grew up at, boys, basketball's big. People could dunk when they were in third grade.
Yeah.
I'm freaking. I got short, chubby fingers, and I'm 5'11". So
I bet that developed your game though.
That was the only way
playing
I could
against
play.
those guys.
Coach Bragg, a guy in 8th grade, told me, he said the only way I ever play basketball here is if you can shoot outside.
Oh, well, there you go.
Because I couldn't dunk.
Well, yeah, but I bet you could get in there and bang with them guys.
But they're taller than me.
Yeah.
You can bang all you want, but when they can reach over your head,
that's right. Just gotta reach over.
Yeah, they treat you like that little brother. Here, you want the ball? You want the ball? So you had to learn to do that.
So who would that have been? Would that have been with like me, you, Britton Brown, Todd Hellman? Let's see, Jim Petrie, Mike Turner.
Yep, Petrie.
Let's see, who would have been some of the guys playing back in with us?
Chad Bragg.
Chad Bragg. Would Willie Woodard have been in that group? Willie. Matt Walburn probably played a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I tell you, we used to have some hellacious games.
You know what, man? You guys are running off a list of guys there. I mean, that was probably pretty competitive.
Oh, it was.
I mean,
and for some of us, it was always fun.
Yeah,
but occasionally you get serious.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it gets serious every now and then.
Occasionally.
Now, was it a call your own fouls kind of thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I reffed down there for about 6 years.
Which, man,
5 or 6
that
years.
is a thankless job.
I started at that whenever I was a freshman. Whenever I was reffing.
Well, hell, that made you tough.
It did.
Because I mean,
you got to get tough.
Well, hell, you probably had to fight men. Walking out there, so to fight your way out there.
Nearly.
Oh, bud. Apparently, I ref for years.
Yeah, you was a referee.
I was a high school basketball official, and I did baseball and softball and volleyball. But
now, did you enjoy that?
I did in the beginning.
Okay.
Because I really do like sports and basketball. I like the basketball. Actually my favorite sport.
For a minute, man, I actually considered, like Randy Layton and Horsley and all those guys. I mean, they've all been basketball officials, and I was like, I was for a minute, I was fairly interested in that, but then you go to enough basketball games and you watch it and you think, man, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, nobody's doing that for the money. I mean, they're doing that.
I don't know, man. We used to make a good bit of money. I mean, for high school kids.
I mean, I'm not saying they don't get paid. Yeah. But like, dude, I mean, you put up with a lot of grief doing that. It looks to me like
church leagues were the worst.
Well, and I'll tell you what, man. I think you'd have to hold yourself up, like if I was going to referee high school basketball, baseball, football, anything, like I would, in my mind, like I would want to be considered a good referee. Like I don't want to be the guy out there. Well, I think there is, man. There are guys that carry themselves in a certain demeanor.
Yeah, you're right.
And they're confident.
You're right.
They're not a-holes.
Yeah.
Like that's the fine line,
But let me tell you something. That's a 50-50 crowd. That's no different to politics.
You're exactly right. I mean, that's you're not going to convince somebody's dad in the stands that you're not cheating their boy.
Whenever the old school. I haven't been to a basketball game in a long time, but I went to tournament games. But like when a gym's rocking and it's fourth quarter and there's 3 minutes to go and the game's tight.
Oh yeah.
You know how stressful that'd be as a ref.
That's what I mean, man. I'm afraid my asshole would be puckered
all the time
in that situation. Like I'm sitting there, like, God damn. I mean, I'm not even playing, but man, if I screw this up, I mean, I'm ruining kids' lives.
I wonder if they get called names still. Is that still hot?
I've been retired now for 5 years, and I'm gonna tell you, I've been called names by people that if you went on Sunday morning, they're sitting in the front church pew.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But boy, not at that basketball.
I won't mention their names, but they may very well be listening. Yeah. I had to pull them in one time, and I said, "Now, boys, you know Jesus sees you here too." I said, "You're going to quit talking to me."
Yeah, it's not just in the church pews here. Yeah, I mean,
it was in the middle of a church league, and I said, "Hey," I just pulled them both in. I said, "Hey, listen."
Listen. Yeah,
God's watching here too, boys.
Hey, Jesus and God are just like Santa Claus, bro. Yeah. I mean, they see it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring you in here, man. You've been on the list for a while, but you've been so busy here lately, and you got this new career. But I think something that but would help you is people get to know you. I mean, if there's one thing that you compared to some other people, you're not from here, so there's a lot. I mean, now trust me, you've done your business as far as getting your name out there. Yeah. You've been involved in countless charity functions, events, and organizations, and you've always been active. Even that's one thing about you, boy. You were doing that before you were in business. You were doing that just as a good Samaritan.
I think it's incredibly admirable, and I'd like for you to talk about it a little bit. I mean, you basically moved to Jackson.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But I don't know if you know this or not, but O'Boyle is from some deep country.
Oh yeah.
He is from New River Gorge country. I don't know what now. So tell us where you're from. You're from West Virginia originally.
I'm from Oak Hill,
West Virginia. Okay.
Yeah.
Graduated at Oak Hill.
Yep.
High school. Is that
high school? Oak
now
Hill
there's
High
an Oak
School.
Hill Academy.
Yeah, and that's Virginia.
That's Virginia.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's south of us.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're so how far was your high school or your home from the New River right there?
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. I learned how to swim that river. And then I rafted down as I got older, and
you were a guide.
I was a guide for a while.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. Tell us about that. So you go through high school. Now we'll get into your college football days and all that. So you're in high school, you're playing ball, you're just being a kid in Oak Hill, West Virginia, right? And then how do you end up a guide at New River Gorge?
So my uncle, who I think he's 58.
Okay.
He's been guiding since he was 20. And when I grew up, he took me with him a lot. I went down the big stuff. I went down the Golly and the Newer when I was 10, 12.
No kidding. So isn't that like the number 3 or 4 place to what's it called? Rafting or?
Now the Golly is the number 1 most extreme trip in the United States.
The gully. So
The gully.
So 2.5 hours from here
Yeah.
is the number one
Yeah.
gully in the United States.
Yeah.
So
Appalachia, baby.
It drops like so rapids are made by how tight the banks are and how steep the bed is. So the New River is another river down there, and it's considered a beginning river.
So the gully's not on the New River?
No, it's it's a different river.
Really?
And
What's it?
It's the Golly River. It comes off it's drained by the Summersville Lake. If you ever heard of Summersville,
So why is it so bad?
it's because it's so tight,
Narrow.
and narrow, and it's steep.
So the water volume, I mean obviously, but the water, so it's just cut itself away, and the pressure right there is what builds up
Yes.
those rapids. I thought it had to do with like the rocks.
No, well, it helps push it, but like the New River drops like
Oh yeah, I guess that would be a push, wouldn't it?
13 foot per mile. The Upper Golly drops 66 feet per mile.
Oh, okay. So they've got it measured. So the New River Gorge drops 13 feet per mile.
Yeah,
That's not very much.
no,
and
but-
you're doing this as a teenager?
yeah.
Well, before that, 10 or 11 years
Yeah,
old.
I was before that.
So so you lost your fear of it pretty quick, probably.
No, the one thing that my family always taught me about rafting is guiding. You got to have a fear.
You always got
You got to have a healthy respect for it.
Yeah.
If you don't, I mean,
Did you know anybody die on it?
I've known several.
Yeah. Did you ever have any like friends that?
Yeah, I've had two. I had two, and we had one on the Upper Golly.
He's yet to ash that ashtray, Steve. Steve, did you see that?
I appreciate the gift, Steve, but I didn't really need it.
I hope one day, Steve, that we can celebrate Chad. He hasn't been back for 20 minutes.
And it's glad to be. I'm so glad to be back.
We
Cigar
had
in my hand.
I had
whiskey
us
in
to
my
clean
mouth.
up here.
Yeah.
Chad's
Well,
been back 5 minutes.
Here we go.
I'm right here with you, Chad. I'm same way.
Right there's the ashtray.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah,
there.
I mean, there is an ashtray, but
Lex, I got short arms, guys.
That's true.
You guys, I think my dad was Tyrannosaurus Rex, man. I big head, big shoulders, and short arms, man. And you guys got the ashtray like 4 foot away.
yeah, you might want to help the guy out there a little bit.
Well, I'm just trying to keep everything
want-
centered.
I mean, you're happy. It's fine to move it away from me.
Yeah.
I don't. I
We'll just set it right
I generally
here.
don't use
Chad
it very
just
often.
fling it
Yeah,
at
yeah. I'll give it. I'll try to throw an arc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're so you know people that have personally. So I mean, okay. I mean, we don't have to talk about that. I don't want to get too dark with it, but
Yeah, me neither.
but
Yeah, we need something light after last week's episode there.
what was it? Oh yeah, we was talking about we had David Gillum on last time. Got a little dark, got morbid.
Yeah, let's
Do you know he's into death metal and he's a mortician?
yeah, I think that's awesome.
Yeah. Well,
I
I mean,
told-
I think it makes sense.
I told him, I said, whenever I die, I said, and I said, you've got me laying there butt naked. I said, I don't want no seances with death metal and candles laying around. I said, I swear to God, one eye will pop open. I'll sit up.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, could you imagine that? I'm just sitting down with all them bodies and you're playing Pantera.
Well, I
Well,
mean,
he
man,
is, he's always been that way. That's been his music of choice.
Well, and they probably, I mean, that's been his music since he came up. And I mean, man, to them, I mean, not to dumb it down, but I mean, man, that's their job. They're around it all the time. I
all
mean,
the time. So, so your uncle's been guiding? Did you get on? Did he bring you along and have you start guiding? So, what do you do as a guide?
Well, you to become
Hang
an
on.
official guide, you have to be 18.
Okay.
Then you have to go through what they call spring training, and basically you come in there in February or March, and you start running what we call turkey boats, and that's all rookies in one boat, man. They throw you in, they teach you the basics, and we'll go from there. See who can make it.
And do you move around the boat and?
You take turns guiding, and it's not more than guiding. Like, see, the New River is I could take all three of you down, and in a week, you could almost guide the New River. It's a memorization. It's pretty much a path.
Yeah.
But the Upper Golly and bigger trips, you have to read water because it changes
Yeah.
with volume. So, it's more difficult. But the New River, to get your official license.
And that's just an eyeball, isn't it? Because that's the way Jen was telling us. I asked Jen Blake how she did Salt Creek Adventure.
Yeah.
She said, I've lived there all my life. I just know how to gauge it.
Well, you kind of pick up on the stuff after a while, and it comes natural to you to look at it.
Yeah.
So you don't look in front of you look down and come back.
Yeah.
So
That has to be huge for that economy down there.
yes, and now it's been over the years because of just the economy itself and people. Used to be a lot of companies. I don't know how many, but now it's kind of the bigger companies have bought out the smaller companies, and now
As
there's
far as guides.
guides and companies, and
And that one, Adventures on the Gorge, my Lord, that's huge.
that's huge.
Huge, yeah. We went down there a couple years ago. We went to, it was a great little weekend trip. Me and Mindy took off, I think, on a Thursday and went to Glade Springs Resort.
Yeah.
Have you
yeah.
ever been there?
I've been by it.
Munn told me
been
about
there.
that, and
Yeah.
man, it had full service restaurant, plush rooms. Everything's right there in house. It had like a mountain biking trail, a golf course, frisbee golf, everything, and you never left. You just walked out of your hotel room where it
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
And it's what?
Did Munn go down there for that frisbee golf?
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
figured.
yeah. He likes that frisbee
Yeah,
golf.
yeah.
But that's only probably 45 minutes from there. So we would go to the new river. So then we end up going over to Adventures on the Gorge. And, man, they got zip lining and rafting and kayaking. It's
big.
I mean, man, I just love it. I mean, you get over there and it just
I
feel
mean,
freedom.
I assume, guys, that like your customers, like that's a global audience, correct? I mean, are there
I've
people
had-
coming from all over the world?
When I was doing it a lot, I had customers. I had a set of customers from Japan.
Yeah.
I had a couple groups from Canada.
Yeah.
I've had them all over the world.
Well, and
come
man,
through
there's a lot of corporate money in that, man. A lot of companies will take those trips with their
Team building
executives.
trips,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
It ain't nothing, but the best thing about that job is you put that boat on the water, and you got that sun up around the mountain, the water flowing. Man, it is most peaceful. I know it's extreme. It gets fun, get your heart up, but man,
yeah.
you can't beat that relaxation.
Well, and like you said, like once you know the path, at least on New River, like your stress levels you've always got to have your sense with you, and you got to be on edge a little bit. But I mean, the path. I mean, that gets pretty enjoyable. Every day you're going out.
Yeah, the New River is like that for guide. Let me get as much tip money as I can.
Yeah.
Because it's fairly easy to guide.
Yeah.
So the pressure's not there. Now on the upper gully, you sometimes have to have heart to heart with people. So you will
Come
be
to
shocked.
Jesus.
You'll be
Look
shocked.
here. I mean, he just cannot do it.
I love it.
I mean, he can't do it.
Hey, don't bang the table.
These Lanceros are just not tightly packed.
yeah.
I mean, I was trying to. Now, Tyler, how's yours doing over there?
I didn't want to admit it, but
Look at that. It fell down.
It fell.
It fell
yeah.
down. Okay. But man, like there probably comes a time within. It's like, hey, dude, that happens again. Like you might die.
Well, yeah, I've had to say that to a couple people.
Yeah.
The worst ones are Boy Scout.
Really?
Boy Scouts are the worst.
Brave.
Yeah.
Well, the Boy Scout leaders, they believe, so they do all the canoeing. So they want to steer
they're
a
big difference in
canoe
shit creeking.
the same as a raft, and they think the way you're doing stuff, they see it and they're like, "Oh, you shouldn't be going this way." So they want to throw in their strokes to help you fix your mistakes.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So
I haven't done it. I want to do it. I haven't done it. It's just, man, that's something that, I wish that there was. I wish that was more prevalent. Like I wish that was easier to do. Like to just. I would love to just jump in the Jeep one Sunday and.
I'm in.
And I don't know why we haven't done it, man. I went down to that.
Got a boat and we got boats and everything down there.
Man, I drove down to the river, and man, these guys are out. And I'm not saying I want any part of doing this, but I'm saying I could just sit there and drink beer all day and watch them. I mean, I think that'd be awesome.
See, me too. Like I got to be honest, man. My chicken shit gene is big.
Hey,
and like, man, like I think it would be fun. But dude, I got no interest in dying on the river.
There was probably 40 people came down this thing at we wasn't there but about an hour. There was probably 40 people come. I mean, I'm talking whipping by you.
It'd be great.
And then they get down to the boat ramp and they start flipping their kayaks. I mean, dude, these guys. I mean, what is that? What's the difference between that and like the Pelican that I have? Yeah,
A little bit big difference.
yeah,
Big.
yeah. Have you ever been in one of them ones?
No, I had a.
Can you roll?
When I was younger, and I didn't have all
Yeah.
the fun I've had packed away. I used to have. Now I was a big boy back then. I played ball. and
Yeah,
stuff.
you ain't never been small,
But I had a boat. I could do all that. But I'm gonna tell you, it was never my cup of tea.
Okay.
Yeah.
because I have been in some hairy spots because of kayaks or Duckies.
Duckies. I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
That was going to be one of my questions. I've
What's a ducky?
I don't know. Well, I've
It's like
heard
it's a blow up.
an inflatable.
It's an inflatable kayak you sit on top
Oh
of.
yeah. I've seen
Well,
that.
and from what I hear, it's like sometimes you'll go down there and maybe you can't take out a boat for some reason or whatever, but they'll let you take the Duckies. Mm-hmm. And why is that?
Well,
Are they safer?
water? Well, it's just the one water level. Now I've never heard of Duckies being going to rafts. The only time they won't let people out. So there's a flood stage.
Okay.
So the river normal level 0,
Yeah.
12 foot is the cutoff for customer trips.
Okay.
So usually
12-foot high, or
12 foot from above flood stage.
so
Above
flood
0.
stage is 0.
0 or normal level 0, 12 foot above. Once it gets over 12 foot, you're at a flood level.
What's the lowest you ever seen?
We've rafted at -3, which sucks.
It's a bad trip.
Well, it's not a bad trip
Bumpy.
if customers really don't know, but
Yeah.
it's not as easy because you're doing a lot of rock dodging, and if you're not good at guiding, it's just
It'll
kind of
test you.
fun.
Yeah.
You watch a new guy that's don't have a lot of experience, and they're stuck up on rocks the whole time.
Yeah, well, see, what worries me is that, like, you go down there to do it. You don't know whether you got an experienced guide or not. Like, maybe you get one of the new guys.
Oh yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah.
You won't know
Man,
unless
and
tell
they
you.
say if you go under,
I mean,
you just
even
stay
that new
there.
guy has, like, a hell of a lot more experience than me. And, like, I hear stories of people falling over the boat and then getting caught, like, down under a rock with all that. Like, dude, that, like, to me, that's kind of enough for me to be like, is there anywhere where I could just sit and watch?
Well, the
there's all kinds of places you
the new river, you can actually you really have to make a major mistake to truly. I'm not saying it's impossible, but truly to put someone in a life-threatening situation.
Yeah.
Because most of the time, like in every rapid on the new river, there's enough space to where if you fell out, I could go. I tell you what to do before every rapid.
Okay.
We tell you the name of it. We tell you the story. That's what's great about the new river, man. The
There's time to
stories.
talk about it a little bit.
And you're going relatively slow, so I don't think people understand that. I think they think it's rapids the whole time. So you're starting off. How many rapids are you going to hit if you take the average trip?
If you do the
6?
Gorge Express, no, you got the Gorge Express. It's 16,
Oh, okay.
and you do get to hit a Class 5, which is the highest you can commercially raft. You get there's 2 on the New River and 4 or 5 Class 4s.
Oh wow.
So, but they're really good.
But so would you say that it's not dangerous, or
I'm gonna say it's more it's always it's a wild river, man. It can be dangerous if you're not like aware of what's going on. The people you're with, your guide don't know what's going on. But on the new river, most people, the companies are not going to put terrible guides on there. So even a new guide is sufficient enough to.
It ain't
take you
like
down.
he just showed up and said, "You guys got
so
any work?"
You're saying getting in a life-threatening situation would be somewhat rare.
Rare on the new river. Now the upper gully,
Not rare.
pretty much. It's
Every day.
It's a massive. You put on a Class 4. You paddle towards a dam and do an eddy spin, and you're right into a big Class 4.
Okay, so not to be dark, but like how many people a year are dying on that thing?
On the upper gully, they usually have one a year.
Okay.
Usually, I mean, it's not all the time, but it's for the amount of people that go down.
Yeah.
It's safe. I mean,
Low percentage.
low percentage, man. For what goes down, I mean, you go down there like Pud says. You go down there during the summer and down the New River. You'll have sometimes with the put-ins where it's
It's a line.
backlog.
Yeah. It's
Waiting to
line.
get on the
Waiting
water.
To get on the water. Yeah.
So
Yeah. It was.
How much spacing did they put between the different groups?
Well, there's so many different outfits up and down the river that you got people coming at you from all.
Well, do they
directions.
coordinate that? I
yeah,
mean,
well, it's common. Like it's same thing as driving a car.
okay.
You don't want to be right up on, even in the people.
It's like
in your
rush
group,
hour.
You want to give yourself space because all the rapids have some are straight through chute with
Right.
waves, but there are some technical stuff where you have to maneuver. So if you don't have enough space, you run into each other.
Okay.
So, and usually you might see that with
When's
rookies.
the last time you did it? When's the last time you went down?
I went down. I'm sorry, man. It's
Look
a
at
rookie.
that. Ain't that
My goodness.
I didn't know we needed to put up a sign. Gee whiz. Oh, boy.
Well, now listen. You know what, man?
I
Business calls. He's probably getting ready to
sell a house.
to get a house under contract.
Is that set up? Did you do it on purpose? Were you getting ready to say, that's a buyer?
I was, I thought about that.
Did
I
you?
thought about getting on here and just like talking business.
Yeah.
But don't really need to do that, man.
No, we're fine. We're fine. When's the last time you went down and did it?
It's been a couple years ago.
A couple years?
I went down with some friends and
I think I remember you going down there.
So-
I think we ought to organize a trip.
yeah.
So
I'm in.
the
Mindy's not in.
back to
Mindy's
the,
not in.
Mindy's not in.
Look, I've had Lynette down there a few times.
Did she do it?
First time this is my wife.
Yeah.
But this was when we were dating.
Oh, okay.
So I take her down the river, and I got her brother on. I got some. He was in the military time. I got some guys from his base there with us. A couple of her friends, and I'm trying to show off. I'm in the middle of the biggest hit on the new river. It's called Middle Keeney Brother. It's a class 4, but it's got an 18-foot hit on it.
Yeah.
So I'm going hardcore into it. I'm gonna take the meatiest part of this hit to get that big uproar of the front end.
You're doing this to your girlfriend?
No, but I'm doing it
He's trying to impress her.
I'm trying to impress her,
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, as I hit it hard, perfect, man, camera perfect. Like I was like, the camera's going. This is awesome. Even if she wasn't on the boat, this is awesome hit.
Yeah.
But as soon as I thought that, I seen feet flying. It's hers. Oh. She fell right out in the middle part of. I mean, we got her back in. Yeah. But I was like, oh.
Maybe she was testing you. Let's see if he saves me.
Yep. Let's see what he's got.
Maybe Lynette's truly like a dolphin, and she was testing you.
Maybe. I mean, she stuck around with me, so she must have felt
That's
safe.
what it is. Yeah, she felt safe.
That's awesome.
So you've been you left out there and you went to West Virginia, West Liberty, and you played college football.
Yeah.
So you go do that. Your class of 95 high school, 99 college.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Was it or 2000?
Well, I actually 99, but I'm gonna tell you this. A lot of people don't know this. When I left school with like 6 hours to graduate.
Yeah, I understand that. I did the same thing.
And you know how life hits you.
Oh yeah.
So I graduated, and actually I finished school in 2013.
Oh, then hell, Caden would be.
Yeah.
Is he the oldest?
No, Darren's my oldest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you would have probably rolled right into that, right?
Darren was already around. I was still trying
okay.
to. It was trying to finish school.
So you had Darren in college.
I had Darren in college. Yeah. Yeah. So.
Oh,
West Liberty Hilltopper.
Yeah, bud.
Yeah,
Exactly.
buddy. Yeah.
Huh. Wow. So yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything. I mean, I think it's great you talk about it.
Yeah.
Because that's life.
Yeah, and it took me till Lynette. I'll give her. She was one pushing me in 2013. It was like 2012, and I was kind of complaining about.
Were you guys together at West Lib?
She didn't go there.
Okay.
We met there.
Okay.
We met there. Look.
Real simple.
That was
real
good.
simple philosophy.
That was good, man. Did you see that?
He's just too damn neat.
I mean,
I think it's okay. I don't think it's impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think a cigar is meant to be neat.
No.
You're supposed to throw a little. If you've been drinking,
you
and
guys
you
were
got a cigar,
gentlemen and scholars.
Yeah.
You know.
He thinks he's sophisticated because he hits the ashtray.
I do like how he did that too. I'm with you. I'm with you, man. Listen, when I smoke cigars, Lynette gets so mad. She's like, "What did you smoke? It's all over the house."
It's the same way I do everything. It's like how you do anything is how you do everything. I am the sloppiest bowl in a china shop son of a bitch that was ever born. And I mean, it just doesn't matter.
Man, I used to be, and something's happened to me here in the last.
You've become very clean and neat, and
Oh, I don't. Have you noticed it?
Yeah. Well, not till we started smoking cigars up here.
But man, I wasn't like that before.
Is that because you hang around with Eddie too much?
You know, some
You
of it
know
might
what
be.
that might be? Might be an
Hey,
Eddie
that
Hughes.
cat right there is a what's the organizational or whatever. Like there's. I mean, I'm
Squared
not,
away.
I'm not going to like toot his horn too much because you know how it pains me to do that.
He'll be in the purple outfit by tomorrow.
Oh
if you do
yeah,
that.
taking selfies.
Selfie.
Yeah. But I will say this about old Edro. That is not a front that you're seeing. That cat
that's him.
is, and he's always been that way. Me and you've known him. I mean, we just didn't meet Eddie.
Yeah.
Me and him, I've known Eddie for for 25 years, 30 years now, And man, he's always been that way.
He cleaned. You know, the first time I really did anything with Eddie, it was me, Eddie, and Cheese, and I think a couple of. I can't remember who else went. Mike Turner. We went to a UFC fight.
Yeah, I remember when you guys went to that. That was probably 05, 06.
Yeah.
Right?
So we're at a bar and it's rowdy. It's people everywhere, and we're sitting at a table. And I didn't know how clean he was until watching him. He would clean the spot like every couple minutes. Like he would wipe, and I'm like, his spot.
Yeah, and I think
that was before COVID.
oh, that's 2005.
Yeah.
Oh, he's walking around with dispenser bottles right now.
Oh man, his stuff's always just been organized and just he knows exactly. I mean, he just don't throw something away. Like he takes his time, puts it away. And I went in there one time and he was ironing mesh shorts. I said,
Shit.
I said,
They put a
Ed,
crease in them?
Yeah, I said, what are you doing? He said, bud, I gotta iron my shorts. I was like, you're a freak, bud. I said, that ain't right.
Yeah, but you know what? He ain't gonna lose nothing.
No, he knows exactly. Yeah, he knows.
You know the funniest thing I ever seen doing. I'm not trying to make fun of him, not a little bit. But we were on. Do you remember It was like a couple years ago. Jeeping for Joy, and we end up on one of the gravel roads. It was real dusty.
Oh yeah.
Eddie pulls over, Chad. He's over. And I'm trying to figure out where we're passing him. There he is. He's wiping his Jeep down.
In the middle of the ride.
Oh my goodness! Like it might get dusty again.
Yeah,
I mean,
in the middle of the ride. I took his Jeep through the tunnel with him. He, man,
did it hurt him?
Oh yeah, Tory plumb out.
My God, that Jeep!
That
Jeep could eat meat.
Oh yeah, this was his
rocks.
first one. This was his first black one, which was way more decked out than his last one.
Oh
his new
my!
one.
I mean, that thing could go anywhere, dude.
Oh dude, it was. But
he doesn't like getting the dirty, does he?
Yeah, he's never going to be out of Allensville with us or nothing. Like that.
No. He's. I haven't seen him much. Number one, he's back in love. So I've lost him. That's what Mindy always tells. She goes, "You see how Eddie does you?" She said, whenever he's, not in love, he calls you. But he's back in.
That was a little harsh from the redhead.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Mindy
that's
says,
a little-
"You see how he does you?"
harsh. That's a little
you hear it,
harsh.
Eddie? But anyway, he's kind of like me. His parents, they're a little older, and he's not wanting to be exposed a whole lot.
Yeah.
So he's which I mean I get
That's
it.
fair, dude.
I
I
get
don't
it.
knock
I get
anybody
it
for this.
I get it.
Yeah.
You not to get too far off, but you were the first. Speaking of Eddie, I'll never forget. You were the first COVID case that I knew about, and oh my God, we had a good time.
Man, these guys mess with me.
They thought it was funny.
Hey, listen.
Did they think it was funny?
I was diagnosed when it was still like no one knew anything. It was still just plain up scary.
He must have had to
Yeah,
pee.
he-
Oh, I didn't even see him go by.
But yeah, I was like, this is before we had all. I was just spread over.
This was June, May,
March.
March.
Yeah, you were right in the middle. Yeah, you were early.
We
I
drove down
remember
the
that.
alley,
Early
and old
adopter.
boy was quarantined, and we were like, "Hey!" He started walking towards us. And he said, "Go!" He said,
Yeah,
he said,
hey,
he
hey,
said-
bud, I felt like an outcast for a while. Man.
I bet.
Only thing I could do was work on that deck. That's why I built it.
Oh, I know, man. That was beautiful. Yeah. Well, I remember I had told Pudge we were doing that whiskey exchange. I dropped off a whiskey thing on your porch, and Pudge does. Well, my God, you didn't touch anything, did you? He said, "Hell, he's got COVID." I mean, you didn't touch anything, did you? I go, well, hell, I think we're all right,
had
dude.
such
I
a
didn't
good
see
time.
anybody. Yep.
Oh, I would run from him every time I see him.
So when you get it, and back then especially. Oh yeah. So when I first got it,
like being a leper.
I had to go. Like I come home from work. That's when I was still at the prison.
Yeah.
I come home and I had to call in like 8 different.
Were you sitting there like, holy shit, man? I'm gonna die.
To be honest with you, so the prison I worked at the end there had the biggest outbreak for any institution at the time in the country.
Is that where you were?
In PCI,
Yeah.
And there was no policy on how to deal with
Isn't it crazy in a year how this thing's changed and evolved?
Since no one knew, we were doing crazy stuff. But I was in charge of the first quarantine unit.
Oh my.
So I was in the middle, and I didn't know if they had it, didn't have. They were just quarantined for possibilities.
Yeah.
And that went on for a month, and then I kind of got cocky. I thought, you know what? I was staying in the hotel room. I kept telling Lynette, I'm like, man, I can't get it. Yeah, I'm immune.
I'm
to this.
immune. Yeah.
And then they were testing. So it was April. It was not March. But we're doing tests on a Saturday after work, and they did the little thing. Or on a Wednesday, they did a little thing. On Saturday morning is my Friday. I'm sitting there in my office doing work, and phone rings. It's the state health department. Say, hey, you're positive for COVID. You need to go home. So I stand up. The captain, he's funny. He's a retired guy. He's the funniest dude you ever meet. He's a dry humor guy.
Yeah.
So I stood up and I said, Cap, I got to go home. They said I have COVID. He said, get the fuck out of this office right now. I said, what? He said, get out of here right now.
Yeah.
He said, don't touch anything on the way out.
Yeah. It was nice knowing you.
Yeah. So when I get home, I'm driving home and I'm getting phone calls from the state health department, Jackson County Health Department.
Oh, you were probably one of the first ones in the county.
I was number 5.
You was number 5.
And here's why I know this is funny. So I get home, and I talk to both of these people on the phone, and I'm like, what can I do? I know not to go into stores. I know not to go to people's homes.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? Can I drive?
Yeah.
They're like, as long as you don't go anywhere. Well, I just got my Jeep, man. I was like,
Yeah.
well, I'm going cheaping.
Yeah.
So we're out, and I'm on the back road, and they rang. They said, answer all the question. So right before that, we heard a radio, update. 4 confirmed cases in Jackson County. An hour later, now we have 5 confirmed. I was like, number 5, baby.
Number 5, that
Number
was
5.
me. How did Lynette handle it, man?
We kind of, in the beginning, we were smart. We knew where I was working. So what I did was kind of quarantine myself upstairs away from her. Then I ended up staying in a hotel room. But, she's trooper state, she was there.
Do you have a plan
What's that?
if you were to get quarantined?
I wish we did. We don't. I mean, I'd probably have to go to a hotel, dude.
If I was either going to use Dad's camper, just pull it up there at the house, or I was going to sleep in my horse trailer if I got it. If we could avoid the other one not being quarantined.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's changing daily. It seems.
Daily.
Yeah.
You
don't know what the rules are. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know
I
what the
just kind
rules
of
are.
feel like, man, if it comes into your house, I mean, we're probably all exposed or doomed. I don't know. Like, we don't have a camper. We don't have.
I do.
I'd probably have to. Well, yeah, I'm not gonna go out and infect your camper with COVID, though, dude.
Well, we can always let her sit and then disinfect.
Disinfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean we do that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to do something.
That's what we do here.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I would have to, it would create some strategic moves. I would say that we'd have to probably do a hotel.
You could stay in
or
that
something.
back corner up there, bud.
Yeah, you can come up
Stay
here.
up here in the back corner.
Yeah.
You know what?
Just put a mattress down.
Put a mattress down. You'll be okay. A little cold, but
Could.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I guess.
Okay,
Okay, I got a plan now.
we we were talking though at the bar the other day or tonight. Man, I think there's something. Man, I hear Dr. Pudge.
here we go.
But
Hey,
man,
that's normally my role. Man.
it is. Well, you've been gone.
He's took it
I've
over.
had to wear all these hats.
Okay.
Hey, shout out to Bo Kearns and
I listened.
Scott King.
I enjoyed it.
Yes,
I
they
really
both-
enjoyed those guys. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you,
taking
guys.
me.
So-
I'm glad to be back, but it's good to know we've
Yeah,
got
we've got
great
allies.
substitutes.
Yes.
Yeah, great substitutes.
I've watched pretty much every episode you guys had. I'm gonna tell you something. I want to say to both of you, but everybody you guys have progressively become more educated in the medical field as the show goes on. 'Cause you guys come up with some great theories and how we're gonna handle stuff. I'm just like, man, who needs the news? Just turn on the Chubby Bartenders.
Yeah, well, we'll try to keep it positive anyway,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, this is another one of those facts.
yeah. All right, go ahead.
Man, I tell you, okay, so I did an exercise, and I told a guy at the office to do it today. I'm sure he thought I was a flaming idiot.
Yeah.
But okay, take 10 people
Okay.
okay, that have had COVID.
Okay.
Okay, now rank them 1 to 5. 1 being antisocial, 5 being social.
Yeah. Social butterfly.
Social butterfly. See where they're at. And my theory is, I know several people that get this thing that, they don't go nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. They, it's like, if they got it, how have I not had it?
I know.
And I just wonder, like, and me and Cheyenne were talking at the bar. I said, Chey, ain't it crazy? I said, knock on wood, And she said, I think I just been around the crud so long that it just.
Oh, I know.
But whenever you are in contact with the public like that,
Could be difference in immune systems.
Could
and
be,
stuff,
I
man.
mean-
You just don't know.
Yeah.
But this guy was working in a prison, man,
yeah.
the whole time.
Well, but
of course, that's a closed environment.
That's a closed environment, and that's a ton of exposure. Like, it's a lot of exposure.
Yeah. It was.
But I'm just giving a theory. I've got my theories on other things, but that's
I told you, man. I'm telling you, I was making a joke when I got the call that, I said, I want to know what I'm going to learn tonight about the medical field.
Okay, well, I mean, something.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
I'm going to
yeah.
learn something tonight.
something. They're going to come up
And
with something.
you know how people are with social media and all that. They see it. It's golden rule. So I want to know how many people went in their doctor's office and quoted something from you guys. But I heard.
I hope a lot of them.
My dad gets so damn mad at me because I'm like, now did you see that on the meme?
Yeah,
Because I'm like, because he'll spit me out something. Like, did you see where they were doing this? And I'm like, no, I didn't. And I'm like, where did you see it on the meme? And he'll say, no, damn it, I saw it on this. I say, okay.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, people should read more WebMD, man. I mean, the problem is it turns you into a hypochondriac. That's my problem.
Here's a great question. Where do you get your news?
Me?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just saying, okay, every source seems to be one way or the other.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody just gives it. Now, I tell you one, maybe I'm wrong on this. Is it the New York Post that seems to have a little, I don't know. I don't read it a lot. But
What I try to do, man, honestly, I mean, and this is probably not the right answer, but I have been avoiding major news lines. I listen to Joe Rogan.
That's a good. Yeah,
I
like Joe
listen
Rogan.
I listen to a lot of podcasts. I purposefully download one podcast that is right, and I download another podcast that is left.
Okay.
Both go hard either way, and I think that then you listen to it and you think to yourself, okay, yeah.
Did you listen to Bernie Sanders, Joe Rogan?
I have not. I've not
Go back and
listened
listen to that.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think anybody wakes up every day with the intention on being an asshole.
Yeah, I love the way Rogan approaches
I do too.
different sides. I
Me
mean,
too.
dude, that guy, if you could find a guy more in the middle than that,
Yeah.
I challenge you to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
But like,
He's open-minded. to
yeah,
everything.
but to be honest, like I tell people, where do you get your news, man?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I'll tell you what, man, I never know what the hell's going on because I've kind of shut myself off. Other than those, I'm not turning the TV on watching news.
So we figured out. So Parler is going to be like the new right-wing
Right.
thing. Now, did
Right.
they activate it back up? Are they back
Yeah,
on the
they
server?
popped to a different hosting platform.
Okay.
Really?
What does that mean?
So Amazon Web Services, AWS, is like the cloud provider that they were on originally.
So that's the storage.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah, like home base, basically.
That's what runs it.
yeah.
And they said no, we're not going to host your platform anymore. So I can't remember the name of the other company. I think it's a overseas company. Don't quote me on
Do
that.
you, like,
don't get
when
your
it-
news from us.
Yeah,
but
but whenever they have one of those
It's sold
web-based
now,
servers like that, like their cloud, are they constantly boosting that thing and trying to build it out? And like, because I mean, think of the YouTube cloud out there. Think of all that storage and
yeah, so the way I tell people the cloud, it's essentially just somebody else's computer. So Amazon has a big data center or multiple big data centers that they just host everything on.
I know, but I mean, are they constantly adding to that to like grow that space?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They have to.
They have
probably.
to,
I mean,
yeah.
because
Yeah,
they
nothing
run out of
stored.
bandwidth.
That's
Same location.
Digital storage is going to become. I mean, it already is to an extent. I mean, like
Oh, it's a big business.
It's
a lot
a
of
big-
people
yeah.
making a lot of money on
yeah,
this.
even
Yeah, just you know what? Imagine it like a used store facility.
oh yeah,
It's essentially the same thing.
Same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're paying a monthly fee to store.
Well, just like these SD cards. I mean, now, people. Like, I got out some old photos the other day. Okay, so I get
Get
out
the ice over there.
Yeah, so I get out these old photos. I did. Tyler
I lied
does.
to you.
Yeah, I get out this old photo album. You guys probably even saw. I tagged my mom and just some old pictures that I found.
Oh, those are great.
And so now basically all my pictures are on Facebook. Instagram.
Sure.
On my phones, Google. I'm on Google. I do the Google photos, and
I love it, man.
Can't help myself.
I love it. Hey, we're good. We're gonna work good together. This whole side of the table is gonna be awful by the end of the night. I just know not to hit it. That's
But
all
you're
I know.
gonna be a nervous wreck by the time the
oh, I'm already.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But I'm sure that there's going to be like some sort of. There probably already is a photo album that hey, just stick any SD card in here and it'll read it and you tab through it. I mean, they're called laptops now.
You know.
So now you just hand them your screen, and
Hey, I kind of thought you was going to throw me some ice in my cup.
but
Oh, I'm sorry. I would have.
that business just
I didn't know if you
It's
trusted
not
the
going anywhere.
cleanliness
It's
of
really
my hands.
exploded in the
I've already
last
had it, but we're
3
good.
or 4 years. I mean, it's getting really, really, really big.
But
all right, man. So now we went through all that. You played college football at West Virginia West Lib. You ended up going back and you
West Lib.
graduated. West Virginia West Virginia West Lib, and right, that it is.
It's West Liberty.
West Liberty.
U.
West Liberty
WLU.
University.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why did I always call it West
We've
Virginia?
got some good friends that went there.
Yeah,
man.
King, Mike
King,
Seitz,
Yeah.
right?
King is the reason why
Did
I'm
Sykes
here.
Carlisle.
Carlisle. Did Seitz go too?
I didn't.
I don't know
think
if he went there.
I don't know if he did. Chris King is.
Yeah.
He's the reason why I'm here.
I was going to ask you. So man, you come from this beautiful God's country down there.
Yeah.
Now were you, now at a young age were you ready to get out of the country and maybe go see a little bit?
To be honest with you, I never had a true plan like where I wanted to be. I end up at college. I meet my wife, and then I got a job in Pennsylvania working at an outdoor placement, and best job I ever had. Worst pay I ever had though.
Oh yeah.
I was a supervisor making $25,000 a year.
Yeah.
And then I got the call I applied for the prisons in the state of Ohio because where we live up there West Liberty, where Wheeling is, Pennsylvania and
you're right
Ohio
there.
is right on both sides.
Yeah.
You can walk.
Did you and I ever go to Jamboree and Hills together?
No, but I worked security there.
Yeah,
a couple times.
you was security there.
Yeah.
I knew there was a tie there.
He probably throwed your ass out of there a couple
No, I
of
was
times.
good.
You know.
I was good. I was usually too
No,
drunk to do
I
anything
had
stupid.
an inside connection with the ownership group, and I had the sweet gig. I worked the camper and the entertainers area where they waited in between shows, drinking everything. Oh, it was the funnest job.
Oh,
I
I
ever
bet
had
that
in my
was
life.
great. Yeah.
And my wife is listening, so I got to be careful. But having that kind of pool was always great.
Yeah.
Speaking of events, you've helped me out on a couple events. Boyle's a pretty big part of Jeeping for Joy.
Oh, I know.
Always has been.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But take Jamboree and Hills for example. Okay, you're talking about. I mean, that thing was massive. How many was 180,000? How many people would be there? Google how many people average attendance at Jamboree and Hills.
First time I ever worked, it was 96,
I wasn't going there.
and
I good on 99.
it was I don't know numbers.
Has it died down now a little bit?
It's done.
It's shut down.
It's over.
shut down.
How long ago?
2 years.
I was going to say because when I was first going to Pittsburgh, I think I'd been with the company I'm with now maybe a year. There was a rest area that was like right there.
Yeah, right
and
there.
you could look over
And
Yeah.
see it.
and see all those
Yeah.
campers and everything, man. And
Estimated 200,000 annually.
Yeah.
Yeah, 200. So I want you to think about something. Okay, this goes back to events. How do you have 200,000 people in a place and not make money?
well, I mean, you're making money, but I'll tell you what, dude, you're taking a lot of risk.
Well, think of what
Like
that takes
you
to
just
put on.
close your eyes. Like you work your ass off all year to get it going.
Yeah.
Then when it starts, you hire dudes like this to do security, and you just close your eyes and pray that everything goes smooth and nobody dies.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah, I mean, because
Yeah.
I'm a nervous wreck on the Jeep ride.
Yeah.
And
Can you imagine
Yeah.
when you have?
I'm borderline hard to work with on that.
Can you imagine when you have 200,000 people?
Oh, I can't.
I mean,
But it's operational wise, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
they
have
had
peop-
dialed in.
They had groups that were in charge of specific parts from each
Who
campground.
who puts that event on?
It used to be, down Wheeling, they had Capital. It's called Capital Entertainment, I think.
Okay.
I can't remember, but they were the people who put it on.
Put it on. Yeah.
Yeah,
200,000 people.
That's a lot.
and really honest. Let's be honest. About 50,000 people really saw the concert,
Oh, if that.
if that.
Did a lot of people just stay in the campground and not even go
they
over?
were there
Everywhere.
But I mean,
But they didn't
You
know.
talk about a party. I watched Leonard Skinner in the rain that year. I watched. Man, I saw Sammy Kershaw, saw Hank, saw Brad Paisley was a hometown boy, so he was there every year.
Yeah.
And I mean, so what are these kids? You got young kids. What are these kids nowadays? What are they doing in that line?
I don't know, man.
I feel like I was at one of those at least a couple times a summer for
Yeah.
at least 2 or 3 summers.
Those were all. I don't know.
See, like right now, man, the shame of it is, hell, they can't do anything.
Yeah.
But come on, how many concerts? Like, when I was growing up, going to a concert was a big deal. And this is funny because you ever watched.
Who was your first concert?
My very first concert was Hank Williams Jr.
Me too.
Yeah, that was my first.
Too.
Yes.
I can't. I went down to see. My dad took me to see.
You goddamn rednecks.
My dad took me to see. My stepsister was down on the river, and I want to say David Lee Roth was down there.
David Lee Roth.
Yeah. Where were you? Where?
Down on the river, down at Huntington.
Oh, in Huntington?
Down in the
Yeah,
park.
they used
Civic
to-
Center or something?
No, that park. They used to have
That
that.
park wouldn't be big enough for David Lee Roth, would it?
It was somebody, Bon Jovi. No,
Oh,
it
they
wasn't
used.
Bon Jovi.
Remember, they used to pack like a name down there.
Yeah.
The Civic Center.
It was
saw
for like
a few
4th
there.
of July or something, I think. Maybe, I don't know.
One of the first concerts I can remember going to was Earl Thomas Conley in Portsmouth with my parents.
Well, I mean,
But that doesn't really count.
That doesn't really, yeah.
My first one independent
I'm
concert
talking-
I ever went to was AC/DC.
Yeah, I'm talking huge venue. I'm talking major venue.
Nutter Center.
Yeah.
Dayton. AC/DC.
Were you pre-gamed out in the parking lot?
Well, I mean, I pre-gamed on the way over there and was not really of the age or of the. I wasn't a big partier until I got a little older, and I mean, I wish I could tell you I remember anything about the concert other than how goddamn loud it was. Yeah. I just remember thinking, man, this is wow.
Think about.
I think I'm going to hell.
Think about the day. They were like, I mean, man, I can remember like, okay, I'm just trying to put myself in that situation now. So I'm thinking of the work that was involved with Jamboree and Hills. I mean, there was no shower.
No.
You stayed in the middle of a field for 4 days.
Things probably got pretty cheesy there after a while.
Tents. Yeah, people that stayed in the tents.
I mean,
it got pretty ripe over
well,
there.
I had to get up for church on Sunday. And
I mean, I bet you were the stinking of some bitch in the pews that day.
gosh.
I wish that I was playing guitar then.
Oh my! You'd had a busy weekend.
I'd had a busy weekend. But
Could you imagine that smell at the church?
I mean, I'm sure that church was busy on Sunday
why
morning.
does Jason smell like
I remember old Cheese one time. He passed out. We found him in the weeds down over there on the side of the road one morning.
Well, is that how he got his nickname?
Hey, you know what we're cheese.
He lost his shoes, and I mean, we found him on the side of the road, just laying there.
Smelling like a block of cheese.
I've had some big adventures with Cheese.
Yeah.
And we used to
me too.
every
I
other
love that
Sunday.
guy.
Yeah,
We used to take groups to go play basketball to prison.
yeah.
So
I went on that.
I used to I used to take a few. So the first time I take Cheese.
Yeah.
So Cheese is wearing this like sleeveless shirt, but it's cut down the center.
Yeah,
nice,
And
nice.
he's got his piercings out and everything.
Why didn't he just take his shirt off?
But we're in the prison, and he says he takes his shirt off. So the prisoners, man, they don't cut no breaks, man.
Oh no!
So they're hollering stuff at him,
Yeah.
running out, and he's wearing. But here's the best part: he's wearing a Cheez-It shirt.
Nice.
Jesus.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's outstanding.
And Britton Brown was playing with us, and Cheese did something. And if you ever play ball with Britton Brown,
Oh, play
I don't care if
baseball
it's
with
pickup or nothing.
Yeah.
Takes
He
it
get-
seriously.
He gets serious. He gets
fired
angry,
up.
and
Angry
yeah, he said he
at
told,
prisoners. I wouldn't get angry at prisoners.
he told Cheese. He said they're gonna pull you in the stand. He was mad at him. He said they're gonna pull you in the stand with that shirt. Get off the court.
Oh my!
Man, Todd and those guys in Turner. I think Britain's give it up, but Todd and Turner was playing. I played 3 or 4 years ago in the league over at the Y.
Uh-huh.
I saw tonight it came back out. I was thinking about getting in it. If it wasn't for the fact I'm just so damn busy right now.
You think you could cross a man over?
No, but I enjoy basketball.
I love basketball.
I enjoy basketball. I enjoy playing basketball.
That's
I enjoy
not a
shooting
game.
basketball.
You know what, man? I like watching it. I had great experiences playing it. I loved some of my coaches in it, but I don't like it.
Did you play a lot in college? Did you play basketball in college?
We had an intramural
Yeah.
team. Our fraternity had an intramural team, and I'll tell you what, man. What I noticed is like there was a time where I was serviceable at basketball.
Yeah, I can see
okay.
that. Yeah, you
Like,
played ball.
Oh yeah, I played through sophomore year in high school, and I was a serviceable basketball player. I could score, dribble, do different things, but man, by the time I got to college,
Yeah, it had left you.
dude, it was embarrassing. Like, I'd get the ball on the block.
Yeah.
I'd try to score. I'd be getting swatted.
Make it rain, and
I'd be getting swatted.
be like that guy in
dude.
that
I couldn't do the drop step dunk.
Yeah.
So like I'm trying to put it off the square, and some a-hole is swatting it into the stands.
Man, I remember.
And I'm like, man, like I even did that, like the alumni tournament.
Oh yeah, I played.
Like
that.
I think I did that for 3 years, and then I'm like, look, dude, I'm retired. Like I might coach, but like I'm playing against these guys that I had coached in football.
Yeah.
And they're posterizing me, and I'm like, man.
Yeah, it's over.
You know what? When you become bad at something, like it's better to just
let it go.
Bow out.
Yeah. And basketball was something I never had a great talent for anyway, and certainly not a love for.
I didn't either. I did like it. I really liked basketball.
Well, I mean, I had friends that like Wiley's game.
Oh yeah,
it escalated. For some reason, he was. I mean, he played basketball in high school. It's the same with me, like till sophomore year. But then, like we get to college, like man, his game escalated.
Yeah.
And some of my buddies, like mine, just completely deteriorated. And I'm like, man, if I can't make a pass without it getting stolen, or
then you're done.
If I'm traveling all the time and stuff, like, man, I'm a liability to the team. I'm just gonna go ahead and raise my hand and get the hell out.
So you say Chris King is the reason you're here?
Yeah.
Let's walk down that road.
Yeah. So my freshman year, that's what the year King was at West Lib, by a week or something, and I didn't have a car on campus.
Okay.
I was poor as a kid, my grandmother raised me. I didn't have a car on campus that year, and he talked me into coming to Jackson.
Okay.
To see the big Ironman play.
Well, because this is a curiosity, because it's like, okay, Jackson, Ohio, not a destination. As far as like, hey man, I'll tell you where I'm going to go when I graduate.
Yeah.
Or when I'm going to Jackson.
Well, I got my job. So I got my job at RCI.
Okay.
And I went to the academy, and there was a guy in my class, and he lived down here at the time in an apartment. And I needed my wife and kids were in West Virginia, still over by Wheeling, where my wife's from. And I had to find a place to live.
Well, I've been to Jackson.
And I was staying down here, and I was like, man, I went up to Chillicothe, and I like Chillicothe. It's a good town.
Yeah.
But something about Jackson.
Because you came and watched the Ironman play one night?
Because I could watch the Ironman play one night. It was over with, man. But I got down here, and for me at the time, even though I was young, it was important for my kids, for me to make sure I bring my kids
to a good spot.
A safe place that I know everything about. Or not everything, but I can
Knew
gather
something
more
about.
connections.
Yeah.
So,
You should sell that same thing in real estate. You should talk about it.
dude, I do all the time, man. Yeah.
Because it's a true story. I mean, you just now got a business.
Yeah, I tell you what, anybody, I've been around Pittsburgh. I love the city itself. I love going to visit. And I've lived around Wheeling.
That's the key, going to visit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we got here, and we moved into our first house. And then
Where was that at?
Down, those houses across from Westview?
Yeah.
I was one of the original people
Yeah,
that
you
lived
were.
down there.
Yeah, you
and
were.
Turner used to say that you lived over there, what do you call it, Little Mexico?
It really was. It had some moments, like you would go through some couple years here and there, you'd have some rough spots, but it
I
wasn't.
had a sister that lived over there. They loved it.
It wasn't bad.
Nice
at all.
Great little area.
Yeah.
That's where I used to play whenever I was a kid. I just lived right over the bank.
Yeah.
Their only problem was the company that originally had them houses, because they had to buy. You could buy it.
Yeah.
And then I started buying it. Then they changed ownership so many times that they lost all that. They couldn't.
Yeah.
They didn't know then. But we got there, and the kids started getting in school, and the school was good. I thought the school systems were really good. And then I joined. I went and joined the JCs.
Okay.
I was JC with you.
And yeah, you were. And Cheese is actually one that took me down there for a Michigan High State game.
You were in that. You were in the JCs.
I was, but I think I was going by the time you guys
you were.
were in there.
So and then
I was.
Yeah.
But yeah,
See
meeting
me
all
pull
them
out that
guys
old
and
timer.
meeting all them guys in the festival and started hanging out, making friends, playing ball, and
You made friends quick.
I made friends quick. And
You did. Yeah, you were one of the boys.
I can't understand why, man. You're such an asshole.
I know, man. Well, now that's what Lynette would tell you. That's not nothing. But you know,
You know I'm joking.
I know you are. But
So then you work, what, 20 years?
well, it was when I left the state of Ohio. I'm 18, and then I had 3 years in Pennsylvania. So I had 21 years.
21 years.
Yeah.
In the penal system, I
Yeah.
guess, and as a guard.
No, I was a lieutenant.
Usually, yeah.
Yeah.
I meant you weren't in there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know, so I've had. We were.
Not as a
You never know
president.
how those clips are
Yeah,
going
well,
to
well, with people, you know, someone would always make jokes. I said, man, I got paroled, you know, in 2020.
So then you decided, you know, I remember you called me and you said, hey, man, what do you think about doing this? And I said, I forget what I told you. I can imagine. I think I said, man, I told you the nuts and bolts of what I knew about it. I think it's a great career. I think you're built for it. Not that I'm some sort of sales guru or anything, but
Well, I remember telling you the same thing.
Yeah.
I was sitting
talked
in your
to both
pool.
of you.
I was
Yeah.
sitting there in your pool, dude.
Yeah.
I
I
was
think
like,
all sales jobs, and
Yeah.
we'll talk about it. I mean, you're a sales guy now. I think all sales jobs have have not ups and downs, but have goods and bads. I mean, they obviously have ups and downs, but there's goods and bads. There's, you know, I like the insurance. I've always gravitated towards insurance. You know, there's always a part of me that says, man, I wish I'd have got in real estate. You know, well, I had family that was in real estate.
Sure,
You know, my dad sold real estate. My uncle Mike sold real estate.
Yeah.
He had his own. My uncle Mike years ago had his own agency. David's dad.
Yep.
And always, you know, there's always that what if.
Yep.
But I did that once with banking. I always thought, what if I'd have went into banking? I think Chad did that too.
Yeah, I did.
And,
And
I
I
learned,
realized that was.
yeah, that was. I could tell within the first 10 minutes that wasn't my thing.
Well, it's different than insurance and real
Yeah.
estate in the fact that, like, you guys truly, in what you're doing, I mean, you're running your own business.
Yeah, as opposed to you're in sales, but you're not a business owner.
I'm a W-2 employee.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, now is it
Two different
somewhat
types of sales
is it
guys.
somewhat entrepreneurial with what I do? Yeah, like if I don't go out and activate,
Yeah.
I won't have a job.
Yeah.
However, I'm getting a W-2. You guys are running your show, man.
So is
Yeah.
that so? You know, I don't know a lot about. I've noticed that a lot of real estate agencies are using this model of teams, and you've joined one of those
Yes.
teams. You've joined the Kelly Wiley,
Kelly
Keller
Wiley group.
Williams. How do you say that now?
Well, we're the Kelly Wiley group of Keller Williams Excel Realty.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right. So you so. I guess explain to me, and I just don't know. Explain to me like the team, like not the atmosphere. I know you guys have a great team,
Yeah.
but explain to me the concept of the team because
Yeah, the structure. Like, okay, like first of all,
used to be you had broker, agent.
Well, let's start here.
Yeah.
Are you a W-2 employee?
No.
Or you're a 1099
Yeah.
independent contractor?
No, I'm not an independent. I work as a agent in the Kelly Wiley group. The team concept is this: you know, like
This is we were actually late to the game
Yeah.
across the United States. These
This-
teams
this
are
has
everywhere.
been-
this
yeah,
is
this
how
is-
it goes
yeah,
across
yeah.
the, and you know, and I want to say this, and I'm so how it got me into Susan and John Daniels
Oh yeah,
for
great
about
people.
a year and a half.
Hand his shirt, Bob.
Yeah.
John Daniels. Side note: John Daniels is an exceptional person.
He's his mind is phenomenal.
I'm telling you, that
Well,
cat-
one of the nicest guys you'll
Yes,
ever meet.
yeah.
But he can do stuff like he can. He
he's a-
might not be able to tell you how the policy says how to build something, but he could break it down.
He's
he
his
can
own
build
engineer.
it.
He doesn't need
He can
directions.
see it how it breaks
Yeah,
apart,
yeah,
then
yeah,
rebuild it.
Yeah.
better.
But Susan and John had been telling me for about a year and a half, Chris, you'd be good in real estate. You'd be good in real estate. And you know, being the guy in getting a paycheck, and I was making a good paycheck.
Yeah, it wasn't
That-
like he was.
that, you know, make
look, you wasn't looking for a job.
Yeah, and then I had a lot of people know this. In July, they thought I had a heart attack.
Yeah.
They got squatted me out.
You had a hell of a year.
Yeah.
First COVID.
And they squatted me out the blood pressure at 220 over 142.
I've been there.
And I thought, and
my
everybody
God.
thought I was having a heart attack.
Yeah.
And afterwards broke down. It was my heart's fine. Carlisle, clear bill of health. It was stress. And it made me think. And then Susan kind of got me connected with Kelly. I've known Kelly, known who she is, but
Yeah.
obviously, but when I first went in to talk to her about joining the team, and we started talking, the one thing I like about Kelly. And I'm not saying no. There's a lot of great real estate brokers in our area. I'm not trying to that, but Kelly makes you go right. She knows what she's doing, and she can just
She'll teach you herself.
She can teach you.
Well, and she thinks big.
She thinks
does,
big.
yeah.
There's no like, and it's great because it makes you get like pumped.
Yeah.
You know, like I have not yet a day where it's not that I'm trying to, like in the prison systems we talked before we started the show was. The people above you might not necessarily trying to help you out because it's a political game.
Yeah, they might not.
They
be
don't
rooting
want you to
for
surpass them.
Yeah.
In Kelly's position, in most places, that person is only there for themselves,
Yeah,
not everybody else.
Yeah, and
so I mean, and I mean, take it from a sales guy. I mean, I've been in sales now for 15 years, and you've been in sales a long time too. And I mean, I've worked for several organizations, and I mean, you didn't have any buddy helping you, and I mean, if you've got somebody that's kind of done it before you, that's a pretty valuable.
Well, and I think that it's probably set up, and you can clarify this, but like if you win, I'm sure she wins.
She wins,
and
yeah.
you guys all win together, and that kind of creates a real good synergy.
Well, like an independent agent, I mean, they're not saying they're totally on their own, but they have to do everything. And
I'm there, brother.
You're there.
I do it.
But in our team, we work the
I saw it, Chad.
Steve Lloyd.
I saw it.
Finally, it's taken him 17 cigars.
17. But
See, I'm getting better.
But we work in that team concept, so we on a regular basis we go off marketing with each other. We're going off.
You guys
marketing.
are pretty on your game right now with marketing.
We work our team. And we help each other out. And you're still kind of working. You're still going out getting your deals and doing that, but we bounce ideas off each other.
Like, do you feel as though, like, I don't know how many realtors there are at Kelly Wiley. I don't know.
We have 4.
I know that there's more than one.
Yeah.
Would you say that you guys have a good synergy there and you work together, or do you feel as though you're in competition with those folks?
Man, that's the great thing about this environment, man. And I give it to Kelly all the way, and Mike. I mean, they're great, but they're pushing us. But we work well as a team, and it's always like, if you make a mistake, they help you and show you what you did wrong. But we work that as a team, so you try to not make. If I make this mistake, we talk about it as a team. So everybody else don't make that mistake.
And like the other people, the other people in your position, like you don't feel like that they're competitors of yours. No. You're rooting for them as well.
Oh yeah, I mean every one of us. I mean
the boats rise with the tide.
If I get a house under contract, it's. We get messages. I mean, it's automatic. Everybody's good job. Or help you out.
I tell you what, man, I would encourage you to keep that mentality no matter whatever happens, because this summer I played golf with Dan Fawkes, and we're all in this, in the same boat.
Oh yeah,
and there's not one insurance agent, in town that I don't have a great relationship. Somebody that I don't call friend.
Yeah. Right. It's not like you're looking at him like, well,
no.
that guy.
That's keep that, because I tell you that has become very valuable to me over the years. It's really nice to have allies.
You probably find yourself occasionally working together.
Oh,
in a weird way.
Yeah,
I mean,
more times than not. I mean, I can never say we've not worked together.
Right.
But that's great that you guys have that.
But Kelly's like her vision is not the house we're going to list and sell tomorrow. Our vision is we want to help and we want to make the client have the best experience possible.
Yeah.
And that's a goal, but it's driven, and she makes you drive. So we're not looking at, I want to get this many sales this year.
Yeah.
I want to get.
Well,
I want to grow. I want to eventually be running my own thing.
Well, as somebody that is buying or selling. It's kind of neat, the fact that it's more of a regional firm now, because you've got access to, like, a lot of people. I would suggest people would call the realtor to maybe look at maybe a different situation for you. If you're looking to say, hey, maybe I want to move a little bit, maybe I want to move, or maybe I'm looking for a new opportunity.
Yeah.
Hey, what's on the market in these other places? And then I mean, heck, if you could, get in some sort of deal where you know where some jobs are, or get with like a local temp agency or staffing agency or something in those areas. That could feed into all kinds of stuff.
Keller's massive.
I know, yeah.
yeah.
Aren't they the number one in the world
It's
or United States?
I don't know that number. But
I didn't know that until I went to Florida this year.
They're all over.
And
you see them
and they were everywhere. I was like, oh.
And the
okay.
model that they have, and the model is proven. And all you have to do is, I mean, it's great having that model there.
Sure.
And I'm not trying to say no one else is doing good, but I'd put us up with anybody as far as, I mean, we usually get a listing and it's gone. I mean,
You guys move it.
and it moves it.
Yeah.
I watching from afar, I've not had, right now I've not been like looking to move houses or do anything like that. But
We're toying with
but like we watch you guys, man, it's a machine, dude.
How do you describe
An
it? So
absolute
you've
machine.
been here 20 years. You've been a homeowner now, what, 3 times?
Twice.
Twice.
Yeah. I've been the homeowner 4 times. If
So
you count 2 in West Virginia.
How do you describe right now the housing market
Well, I'll tell you,
in a rural Ohio town?
it's not just rural. If you're anywhere right now, if you want to sell, and we tell people this all the time, if you have that thought, I'd like to sell in a couple of years. If you've got the bedrooms, the square footage, and the house has got good bones, you're probably going to make more than you probably thought you'd make off a house.
Are you categorizing this as a seller's market or a buyer's market?
It's a
right
seller's
now?
market
Okay.
all the way right now. And, I tell people, I've had a few people that, it's like, I think I'm going to wait. I want to add, I want to do this, I want to do that. And I'm like, man, if you think in next year you want to be out of that house, put it up right now. Because you're going to make, and right now, if you read the market, and I know you guys both because of your position.
Yeah.
If you follow up and read the market and read the futures and all that stuff, right now, I mean, it sounds like this is going to stay steady for a little while, and this is time to take advantage.
Yeah.
And especially
I
with like us, I mean, you want to sell. I mean,
I know. Even just I deal a lot with Eddie, and we refer a lot of business back and forth, and I'm seeing that. Houses right now. The thing that I've noticed that seems to benefit a buyer right now is the fact that lending has really relaxed.
Yes.
Lending is
I
very,
mean,
very,
you
very
can
relaxed.
get a mortgage right now.
I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've got income right now,
Yeah.
you can buy it.
You've got good income. I mean, even if you've got some, slices on your credit or whatever, it seems like people are able to purchase homes.
Now, one struggle. So I'm about half looking right now.
we'll talk.
I'm not saying that I'm going to
Hey,
move.
list that thing tomorrow.
List that
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Well, we're just in one of those situations. The boy is going to do nothing but get busier, possibly.
Of course.
I'm a weird buyer, okay, because I got the horses.
Oh, yeah.
I have come kind of face to face with the idea that I just don't think I could come back to town. I spent.
I cannot see you living in town, dude. Like how
neither.
in the world? Yeah, I mean, you're not going to want to give up the horses.
And I'd have to do that, or put them somewhere, which then that creates another
Expense,
and
then you're driving somewhere to take care of them.
But like in my ideal situation right now, and I've got a couple that I know of, but my ideal situation is about 50 or less acres, something me and the boy could hunt on. Something I could I could take 5 or 10 acres and keep my horses on, because you don't need a lot of land to keep horses like you do cows. And I'm never going to buy enough property to have a major cow operation. That's Mindy wants an in-ground. It's just I'm one of them.
That's not. You know what? I tell people, like, every time I talk to somebody, think about buying.
Well, okay. Well, here's what I guess I was going with that. My issue now is, and I'm sure you're going to get this, that like now, I could sell my house and I could make a lot. I could do pretty well on it, or I could, but I don't know that I could upgrade. I mean, I can't get what I have now and justify it.
Yeah, I get you.
You know, because I've already got some of that. You know, I don't have 50. I got 10 acres, and I got, you know, so it's, I don't know. It's just one of them things where I can't, you know, even if I sold my house, I couldn't go replace it and get that. You know, I mean, it's a major upgrade when it's like, you know, just to.
There's always like I tell people when you get a buy, and when they call me, I don't care what price level you're at.
Yeah.
Tell me what your wish list is.
Yeah.
And then
that's a good way to look at it.
If you take it, I'm gonna tell you. I've seen it, and I've only, and you know, short period of time. But you watch it, you'll be shocked at what you can find out there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I've had several people think, oh, you'll never find everything I want, and I'm like, well, here it is.
Yeah.
You know, and I tell the only way
you got
you're
what 6 under contract? You said.
Yeah, 6, and it should be. I had my first listing a couple weeks ago, and then I'll have another one by tomorrow. So
okay,
maybe 2 if you let me talk to you. We keep drinking.
Well, that's it, folks.
but yeah, man, it's
well, it's you know, that the real estate play. I mean, you know, I guess I'm one of those guys. You know, I don't move around a lot. You know, I get kind of settled in. I think that's just the kind of way I was raised, I guess. You know. But I'm not a guy that's always looking to flip a house or do something like that. I wish I was, but I'm not. You know, the rental game right now seems to be another crazy market. The rental game is just, I'm into that too, and it's it amazes me how much it's changed in the last 5 years. I mean,
there is something. Oh, look, Busch lattes. That's what I'm talking about.
Can't go wrong with the
So
latte.
now I got to tell y'all this while you know we're in an alcohol game here right now is, so you know Greg Irwin passed away a couple weeks ago. Not to get dark.
well, I gave him a shout out on there a few weeks
Yeah,
ago.
I know you did.
He
But-
was a great neighbor of mine.
We used to go down there about every other Friday, down in the garage,
Yeah.
drinks beer and stuff. And when he passed, the night he passed. You know, God rest his soul. And I'm friends with all his boys and stuff. And
Me too.
we, I said, you know what? You know me. Remember, I've told you Bud Light. I never ever mess with this. That night, I said, you know, I'm gonna drink some Busch Light in honor. And you know what? I'm hooked.
Oh, it's delicious nectar.
Well, I'm telling you what, you you change that in for a Bud Light, you will have found the Mecca.
Man,
Oh yeah.
speaking of old Greg, man, I remember one morning, I pulled up in there about 8 o'clock in the morning, on Saturday morning, seen him sitting in the garage. He fried me up a big old mess of mushrooms and eggs, and you know what we had with it? Busch Light.
There's a latte. There ain't doubt, man.
Man, those guys, they are great neighbors.
So those
I'm gonna miss
houses
that
I
guy.
lived in, he was actually the first person, besides like King and people I was kind of playing ball with. He was the first person I sat down. He was the maintenance guy over there.
Okay.
And he'd sit over in that office and he had beer.
Yeah.
We started talking. Well, my air went out in my house. And if you know me well enough, there's one thing I said in my working life: I will never go without air conditioning.
Your sweater.
I'm with you right there, bro.
You know, I'm a big guy. You need air, but I grew up without air. And I said, you know what? When I got a job, I don't care what it takes. I have to work 3 jobs. I'm gonna have.
We're
air
gonna
in my
have air
house.
conditioning. Yeah.
Yeah. So my air went out, and my wife will tell you when that happens. An hour into it, I get a little cranky.
Oh,
Was that coal mine country you were in?
Yeah, I was coal mine country, man.
Really?
My house I grew up in.
is that
was,
Mingo?
No, my
Fayette
family's from
County.
Mingo.
Okay.
Yeah, my
yeah,
family's
I grew up.
What county?
Fayette County.
Fayette.
Yeah, we grew up. My house that I grew up in, my grandmother got and my grandfather from the coal mine company.
Oh,
they were
yeah.
paying their mortgage to
To
the
the
coal
coal
mine.
absolutely. Yep.
So we grew
How
up.
far are you from Mingo? You're a good ways from Mingo.
I'm good
County.
way. That's the other way.
That's probably 4 hours
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's north.
west.
Well, you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
north, yeah. Yeah, that would be. That's what my family's from Mingo. It's another one. So yeah, I bet you guys. I bet you would. I mean, I bet Jackson's a metropolis.
Well, no, I mean my town. We had
Not necessarily. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great town, but you know, it's like the economy. I mean, the job outlook. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to have been a raft guide my whole life.
Oh yeah.
I'd have
But
been living in the tent.
that doesn't move towards
That
retirement.
don't phase the bill. You can't have a family on a raft.
So you're okay. So now we're trying to get all this in. Oh boy, you're just so damn interesting.
Thanks, man.
You know, I tell you something. I really admire the hell out of you for is your boys.
Oh yeah.
You're so tell us where's Caden.
Well, my youngest, he's in the Air Force in Guam,
Okay.
and my oldest, Darren, he's actually in a deployment in Korea, in the Navy, and he's been in the Navy since 2013.
What do you think sparked this military bug?
You know, I've always been my grandmother raised. We were poor.
Yeah.
And the day I graduated, my grandma sat me down, and she knew I was going to school to play football, had a scholarship. She said, I'm just to let you know, after this summer, when you report to camp in August, that bedroom's a guest bedroom. And if you need to come home because you want to quit school, you need to have a job, and I'm going to expect X amount of dollars. And she goes, it's not that I'm going to leave you homeless, but she goes, I ain't raising no bum.
Right.
So my boys, when they got older, as my oldest one was getting close to graduation, I sat him down and I said, what's your plan? And I could say, I can help you so much with school, but you're going to go in debt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, but I'll support you either way. Yeah. And I said, and he
I think that's great. I don't know that paying for, there again, I'm probably going to end up doing this, but I don't know that paying for somebody's education, I think it's a great gift, and I'm not knocking anybody that does it. I'm saying you better have a kid that's got his head on shoulders.
You got to have, it's too expensive.
Yeah.
Well, it's easier. I mean, this is what I'll say.
Well, that's where you were last week.
Yeah. Well, listen, she's a little bit of a special case.
She is.
Yes.
But
congratulations.
But I mean, here's what I would say. My take on this is it's a lot easier for them to take on debt. And I feel like it should be the kid's responsibility if they're devoted to their education. Now listen, I'll help in any way that I can. But I mean,
she got full ride, didn't she?
Yeah. She's. I mean, it's pretty easy.
Well,
there.
but there again, like I think there's a difference between like a local touch where okay.
I mean, we had to pay a little bit.
Yeah,
yeah. And Brown, like you're not allowed to take loans.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah. So we did have to. I mean, we. But listen, let me tell you something. For the quality of education she's going to get, it's a very small trade off.
Man, you know who I learned that from, and I tell you, your boys are like this. Snyder.
Yeah,
I remember Snyder was showing me one time how like. If you're coming out of an armed forces or like an Ivy League school or something like that, you truly, and I mean, this is stuff I didn't know. You truly have a market value.
Yeah. I mean,
my market value was $11 an hour because my back was good.
Well, like I always tease Helena in the fact that it's like, hey, look, man, you're going to come out of school, and if you play your cards right, I mean, you'll make more than I am making right now.
Amen.
Day one. So take advantage of the opportunity. But my thing is like, if when your kid goes to school, like I feel like they should have some skin in the game if that's what it's going to be.
Yeah. Now I say that, and I had a lot of skin in the game, and it didn't do anything for me. But it all worked out.
Me either. It's all different.
I mean, where you're at now, look at you now.
Well, I'm not doing great, but I mean, I'm all right.
Hell, I'm just now paying off college loans that I've had for 30 years.
Whenever they used to say like from 35 to 55, you were in your prime. Like that's about how it worked. Like, man, I struggled till I was 35.
Me too.
And
well, I was
struggling now.
I was, you know what was interesting? You look at that. I think all of us could sit here. This is probably a good perspective. Like,
we're from 40 to 50.
Yeah, I came out, started doing really well. Okay. Did really well for a while, and then decided to go into my own business or whatever. Lost everything I had.
Yep.
Okay. Had to start over.
Yep.
At age 35.
Is that how old you were?
I roughly, I'm guessing. I don't know.
You've been younger than that. Probably 30.
I don't know. When did I start working for you, dude?
In 2000.
When did you save my life?
I didn't
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah, you did.
no,
Yeah,
no.
you did.
2007 or 2008.
Dude, I was dispatching emergency squads on the graveyard shift. And living with my mom and dad.
Yeah.
Now, it's embarrassing for me to say
no.
that because, that's something that I always
I was
like.
looking to grow a team, and I'd
Well,
heard
well,
speeches. I said, "Hey, I got to."
Well, but I'm telling you, man, like for me, one of the big things in my life was always being self-sustaining.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were just talking about this before the show.
Yeah. Went through a situation where, Jesus, I was I was on my belly.
Hey, business can flip, boys.
and tried to do, but I was really fighting
Yeah.
to the best I could, and then you gave me an opportunity, and I feel like I converted on it.
Oh,
Like
yeah, you
I
did.
feel like you
yeah.
know,
Absolutely.
you didn't regret that.
No, I would do
you know.
it. I'd do it 10 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do it now.
So it worked out, but I guess what I'm getting back to, like with kids, I think it's very important that they understand what they're getting into.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, all right, man, are you going to go?
Man, and I'm sure there's guys that are listening to this that are going to roast us.
Well, that's fine.
Well,
but
but I think that everybody, it's just situational.
It is.
My kid and your kid and your kid. I don't know what he's 7. My kid's 7. You don't know what. You don't know what his passions are going to be.
I don't know.
Maybe I will pay for his school. Maybe, it depends
Dude,
on what
I'll
kind of
try.
school. Yeah.
I'll try the best I can. But like, here's the thing. But unfortunately for my kids, shit. By the time they're going to college, I'll be. I'll be mid-50s.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
It's like, look, man, I'll give you as much as I
I'm not
can,
being
but
rude. I got this
but
is
old
somebody
dad, old dad has to retire too. Yeah, and the thing is, like, Chris, here's my question to you, like. You weren't a military guy.
I was wondering where's the bug come from.
And then your kids come to you and say, "Hey, Dad, I want to go to the military." Like, that would make me very proud. But like, also, it would also make me very nervous. Like, how was that?
it's
You have a military-esque feel.
well, I have
to you.
family military.
Yeah.
But and it's
I thought you were military.
no, I wished I had done it.
Me too. Me too.
I wish I had done it, but
Did you ever sit down with the
Yeah.
recruiter?
yeah, I
did too.
almost joined the National Guard.
I almost joined the Army.
Yeah.
I was 21.
So, but I
Did you ever sit down with one?
No.
Oh, my Lord.
they're really good.
They're high pressure as hell.
Dude, now how much do you know me? Like, seriously.
I figured. Did you ever sit down with one?
Like, dude.
Was that hot whenever you got out of school? Was it? I
A
bet
lot
it
of
was.
people did that.
Like, I wish I would have. Honest to God, that's what I needed.
No,
It is. Like, I think it would have changed the trajectory of my life.
Man, I look.
It would have taught me discipline that I didn't have.
Your kids are getting like such an experience right now.
Yeah.
Like,
So
I mean,
like, what?
where are
okay.
they at? Guam and where?
Korea.
Okay,
And
so
this
you
was the
didn't
first
have-
holiday we have never had them. This holidays were the first ones.
I bet that was
neither
tough.
one. Oh my gosh, my wife, and
Did
it
you
hurts
take
me
off
too.
and go somewhere?
We went on Christmas Day. Went to Tennessee.
Yeah, you
look
just couldn't
at
take
these
it, could you?
guys.
Because we
yeah.
just couldn't know. It was we usually have had at least one of them home,
Yeah.
in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But and then my oldest son has always been home at least Thanksgiving and Christmas, but the rotation didn't work that way, so we didn't have them. But I'll tell you this. Let me answer
My question was like, okay, you weren't a military guy, and your sons come to you and say, "Well, Dad, I want to go to the military."
Yeah.
All right, and I mean, to me, like, that would make me very proud, but then it would also make me like very nervous. Like, oh,
It is nervous, but I'm telling you, we were all talking about it. I think throughout my adult life, even now, I if I need money, I've had those extra jobs. I've worked the low paying jobs. I've done extras.
Oh, we all have. Yeah.
But the one thing that I always said this is when I pass away, the day that I'm done, if I die today, that both my boys can support themselves.
There you
which
go.
makes me feel really good.
And
That has
it's
to be a
because
good-
they've got a tremendous start.
Yeah.
By making that decision.
Yeah.
But like, did it make you nervous at
Oh,
all
it
when
all-
they said that? Like, they're like, "Hey, Dad, I'm going."
Or did you feel like they were maybe in the best hands they could be in?
I thought, like, my older son, he wasn't, school wise.
What's his name?
Darren.
Darren. Yeah.
He wasn't.
Why don't I know Darren like I know Kate?
Well, because Darren was he was the quiet. He was the quieter kid.
Yeah.
Caden was kind of like me. He's out.
Caden was building the Apple Festival with us.
He'd come up
Oh,
there.
great kid. Man.
Yeah.
God, he's a great kid.
I don't. I say this all the time. I got the best of both worlds. My oldest son's a good kid. He's a good. Not kid. He turns 26.
Yeah, I was
in
gonna say
October.
that man. He's a man. Yeah.
But he's straightforward.
Okay.
And he's just like me, but he's straightforward.
Okay.
So he's going to tell you what he's thinking. He's going to be he's not going to be rude or nothing. Yeah. But my youngest son,
He's not gonna bullshit you.
no, he's no bullshit.
Yeah.
But my youngest son, he's the kid that everybody over here playing video games, we're shoveling a pile of shit, and he's going to come over and shovel. And
Yeah.
that didn't come from. I'm going to tell you that
Yeah,
that
no,
was
he's
him
a-
his whole life.
Yeah, yeah. Like when we were building the Apple Festival, like he didn't stand around and watch
Yeah,
and like go over and text.
Nah,
Like
he's out of
if you needed a hand, like if he saw
He's
men
there.
working, he would just come and like I remember seeing that and I was like, my God.
Well, see, that's a matter of
This
just the
kid's
way he was
awesome.
raised, and he respected
Yeah.
the guys that were doing that. He wanted to be a part
There
of
was
it.
a job. What were we doing? And he jumped in there and helped us. What was it? He went like an animal. And I got all. Remember, I got all impressed with him.
Yeah, I don't remember. He's always impressed me. Both of them have.
Yeah.
I get because I got, like I said, my older son's like me. He likes to drink a little bit now. We're the me and him's been to a couple Michigan games
Yeah,
together and had
yeah.
some. My youngest son does not drink,
Okay.
and he
good
had
for
this
him.
conversation with me, and he said, "Dad, you just don't like it." And I looked at him and said, "I'm proud of you."
Yeah. There,
no,
go,
yeah,
boy.
go for
Yeah,
it, man.
yeah.
But the one thing that makes me very happy about both their job decisions is I look up to them.
Oh yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah.
Well, like, was there a situation like when they came to you
Mm-hmm.
and said, "Dad, I'm going to the military"? Like in the world we live in now, Chris.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
Like, I mean, like, were you kind of like, man, dude, you guys are brave. I mean, I have done a good job here.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's the way I'd feel.
Prison.
Because I'm like, personally, I'd be like if my son and daughter came to me and said, "Hey, Dad,
Yeah.
I'm going to go to the military. I'm going to do this and that," I'd be like, I think, I don't know that I could be more honored.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
Whenever your son or daughter would
scare
go
me.
off to
Yeah.
do that, I mean, I can't imagine how that goodbye would be.
Oh, I'm going to tell you something.
Oh, break it down, brother.
You've never seen.
I see the water in his eyes already.
Well, it's like the boys. When
Yeah.
like I said, when my older one left in 13,
Yeah.
we still had Caden at home as a cushion.
Yeah.
Sure.
So he was a
Yeah,
soccer.
we
He
are.
played
Yeah.
soccer.
Yeah, so you had a little diversion
We
there.
had we
Yeah,
didn't
we
get
got that
so
now, too.
like
Yeah.
we missed we
then
like
when Caden goes out,
oh dude like so here, this is a great story because the Navy
gonna
takes
get them
takes
tears
your
rolling.
kid takes your kid.
I like it. Hey,
Hey,
this
don't
is
make-
real.
COVID, heart attacks, tears.
heart attack, tears. Man, you guys are gonna have ratings out the butt after. If I don't come back for next, then I'm gonna tell you what. I'll
no,
be
you just tell us. No. Just
Giving
get
up
real.
oil
Tell us.
hell.
Tell
Oh,
us
I
all
love
about
it.
it.
I
So,
physically enjoy
now
it.
when Darren left, we were you had your moments when you're up there, you're like and you're watching him swear in, and then they leave.
Yeah.
But his was quick. Like the Navy took him from the house to up there, and then the next day we got up there to watch him swear in, and then they gone. He was gone.
Yeah.
And it was like it hurt. We drove home, and we I think he had a girlfriend at the time. We had her in the car with us, and all four
Everybody
of us are crying,
Oh, it's a
snotting
mess.
around.
Yeah.
So then, when my youngest son went, we had to take him up the day before, and then go back up the next day.
Oh, boy.
So we come home, and my wife, she
For a
she
mother.
it's you're trying to be tough, but you're feeling the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
But she comes, we don't talk to each other like all the way home. We're all quiet.
Yeah.
We get in the house, and she sat down in the chair, and then tears start flowing. And I'm like, oh my God. And then she goes, go get him. I don't care. We'll figure out what he can do. I don't want him to go.
Yeah.
She had me questioning, like, oh my, I called him up. I'm like, Caden, you okay? You sure you want to do this? He's like, oh, Dad, I want to do this for sure.
So
Okay.
did you talk to him then within?
Yeah, we talked to him the night before he left.
What branch is he in?
Air
Force. Yeah.
So we get up there, and I had to call her friends. I had to call a couple of her good friends. I said, y'all need help because I'm not strong.
I think I remember that. I think her the Facebook post.
Yeah,
or something.
she was, and then
Well, it was just a year ago.
yeah, a
Right?
couple years ago. It's been 2 now.
2. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's in a 6-year enlistment, and he'll
Big
be
old boy, man. What is he? 6'1", 6'2"?
6'2".
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just man.
But,
do you know him?
I mean,
Seen
I've
him?
just seen him on
Great
their
kid.
posts and
Great
stuff.
kid,
Yeah.
man. It's you think about it all the time as a young dad.
I just have an admiration for kids that choose service
service oriented.
as I mean, like, man, I just have a respect for those kids that do that.
And maybe I shouldn't talk about this. I have no business talking about this, but I think that there's a awareness there that what if it backfires a little bit on it, because I mean I know some guys. Me and Travis Hughes was mushroom hunting the other day, and we were talking about a real good friend of ours that the military has affected, but
Well, I mean, they see some.
they see some wicked shit.
I mean, dude,
and,
they're
the guy we were talking about is one of the most genuine people I've ever met in my life. But it's just apparent that you could see it. Like, man, this guy's been in some stuff, and it's affected him. And you want to do something, but you don't know what to do. So I mean, did you ever think about that, or were you like, this is a phase, or like, what were you? Whenever that happened, like, were you? Does that make sense? What I'm asking?
yeah, of 100%.
Now, right now,
I mean, like, I guess what
over the last 20 years, this is probably the calmest it's been.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, my thing is
Maybe.
look, I would be so damn proud
Oh yeah.
of a kid that says, I choose service.
Sure, yeah.
Now, would I be nervous as a parent? Oh, shit, yes, I would be.
Yeah, what if one of them calls you and says,
mean,
"Hey, I'm going to go be a ranger"?
I mean, I'm so damn proud of
That's
him.
Darren.
I mean, like,
Yeah, that's Darren.
I'm so proud of him, but yet it'd be like, oh my God,
is he
man!
going to Ranger
Look
school?
what you're doing to
No,
your dad.
he wants to talk about. He's been recruited a couple times to do that. Get out of the military, do the black ops security stuff, that
Yeah.
private security stuff.
Kind of like Scott King.
Scott King.
He's diehard into that stuff. But we've had one scary moment, and my older son, he's on the helicopter unit, and they drag like for like mines and stuff,
Yeah.
like in the water, and it's a big helicopter. I mean, it's like this room, okay?
Yeah.
And we have a rule of thumb at the house. Listen, if it's bad news, you call me first.
Right.
Let me deliver
Please.
mom.
Yeah.
Let me deliver the news. Let me prepare
We'll
her.
have to edit that so Lynette doesn't hear that.
She knows it. She's okay with it. But so I'm at work one day and she calls me and I couldn't understand where she. I thought she said her dad had got like hurt. And I'm like, well, her dad's older, and I'm like, oh, what happened? Then she's like, no, Darren, and I'm like, no, Darren didn't get hurt because he would have called me.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there going. So then she sends me.
You're
she
like,
goes,
Darren, damn it, you broke the rules.
look at these pictures. Look at these pictures. So there's a cable that came up. It snapped, and it went through his helmet and cut all the way up the side of his face. But when we get the picture, it's like you can't see. It looks like his eyes hanging. It's flap. It's over. And he didn't have my number at work, and so he called his aunt to try to get a hold of me. But she didn't have my number, so she called my wife. So when she tells me, and then I see the picture, I'm like, oh my God. And this was in his second deployment to Korea at the time, and took us 5 hours before we could get a hold of him. And he was fine. I mean, he has a little scar and stuff, but it missed his eye, and the guy said, a little bit to the left, it'd have been bad news. But they told him he could come back home, come back to the States. And he's like, no, he said, he was good. He said, I was ready to go back to work next day.
What a brave.
He said, the only thing that sucked about it, he said, in Korea, they don't believe in all the pain medicine. He said, so, he said, we got about 5 minutes for about a 3-hour
They
procedure.
hit him with a leaf, some sort of leaf.
No, they gave regular medicine, but he said
Oh,
they
Miyagi.
don't keep
Yeah.
they don't keep
They
it,
shoved some kind of a fig leaf up his nose.
but they don't
Here you go.
they don't like give you continuous medicine like you'd be on if
They
you was in
got
the hospital
witchcraft
here.
over there.
Yeah.
You're just sitting there, and he's
You
like,
watch Cobra Kai?
Yeah.
They have witchcraft.
so. But yeah, we've.
Dude, I'll tell you, when the kids leave the nest, I mean, like I said, mine was a much softer leave. We just did that, but
You were tore up about it.
You're going to be. Wait, I'm telling you,
listen,
you can
Patch,
tear about it, talk about it.
My wife may have a complete. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that is.
You
okay.
can't
okay.
prepare for it.
With Helena, would you have
Helena-
thought that it had been Melissa, me, Abram, or Camille? What would you have thought the torn up radius would be?
Melissa.
Listen.
You.
All right. So Helena pulls one on us, man.
He's gonna cry.
Like, no, I just got to tell the story. I'm cool with it now. I okay. So, like, what has always touched me is her relationship with Abram and Millie. It's always touched me, man.
Oh, yeah, it's been great.
I mean, okay, so this creative child, Helena, makes on her own a book for both of them.
Oh my god!
Entitled "Things That Will Not Change." Okay, and like
That's why she's going to Brown, bud.
yeah, she puts pictures in it, has it all lettered out. Like,
Man.
hey,
You shouldn't have read that in front of everybody.
dude, she throws that
That's
out.
great.
She throws that out in our last night in the hotel room. Well, it threw me. I mean,
Dude, it was just a sobbing mess.
oh, you know.
Oh,
me.
yeah,
I'm an
yeah.
emotional
Oh, yeah,
wreck.
yeah.
Like I am.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
are. Yeah.
you know, I'm just an emotional person. I mean, that's why I can
Well,
give.
that one touched you from the beginning.
Well, like you know how like I give those impassioned speeches when I coach. Right, that's because I'm an emotional dude, right? Like
yeah, but Helena, she was. I
Helena
I
has
remember the
been
start
very
of this whole deal.
special with me.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. Helena
Like,
adopted you pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, her and I I wish our relationship was better, but like, man, it was pretty decent.
Yeah, it's pretty decent.
And
I've been a step kid. It's a tough thing to do.
And man, she threw that at the kids. All right, so I'm a complete mess, anyways. I mean, just a mess.
Just a mess. But her and Melissa, they're buddies.
Oh,
They're-
okay.
I mean-
Well. So then, and Melissa's looking at me like, "Hey, hold it together. That's not
Suck
cool."
it up, man.
Yeah,
Suck
yeah,
it
yeah,
up,
like,
man.
see what-
like we're dropping her. Yeah, she's like, we're dropping her off tomorrow. Like
Yeah.
you can't turn into a soup sandwich tomorrow. Well, yeah. Like just
Soup sandwich.
Yeah, like hang in there. Yeah, come on, dude. Like don't
She's
waste.
consoling him in the hotel
Yeah,
room.
well, no.
Chad, it's gonna be okay.
Well, no, you don't know my wife.
gonna
Now,
leave.
my wife is not consoling type.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
she's looking at me like, hey, dude. Like, look, I mean, you gonna waste the last night we've got with her? Like, you sitting here sobbing like a bitch? Like, come on. And so we hang out and do everything, and then the next day we take her to, like it becomes very real. Like, all right. I mean, we're leaving her in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, hey, man, I'd prepared myself mentally. Like,
Yeah.
I'm good.
You're good.
This is no big deal. We're good.
You did some private crying, didn't you?
Oh, now it started off like
I did a little private crying.
Abram went
Country
first.
song gets you or something.
Like,
Every
we-
now and then you
we-
just melt down.
Yeah, we got her to her dorm. Yeah, and Abram went first. He hugged her, did all that. Handled it pretty well.
Did he?
Millie
Abram's tough.
Millie was next. Did not handle it
Yeah.
well.
Well, she's getting to that emotional
Oh
stage.
well, she just loves
It's her
her
big sister. Yeah.
And then so it's my turn. Mom's gonna be last, so I roll up here and think, okay, man, I gotta be strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. I give her a hug and I start trying to talk to her and just absolutely
It folds like a log chair.
oh, I mean just completely
Did the lip quiver?
oh
How'd you get the quiver lip?
I did everything but bawl.
You know, I just remember this because here down the road,
Oh, it's gonna be.
He's laughing now.
yeah, he's laughing. It's easy to make that joke right now.
Oh, hey, dude.
I mean this out of love.
Hey, no, listen. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I bawled. I mean, I'm trying to talk to
I
her.
wouldn't do it.
And I think she was looking at me like, for God's sake, Chad.
Yeah.
I
Don't
mean,
get
come
the tears on
man.
my outfit here, okay?
And I mean, you know.
Have you talked to her?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, how's it going?
Good. But she has the quarantine for like 13
Yeah,
days. So she's
crazy.
stuck in her room like she's in a prison cell. But like, so she leaves, then her and Melissa. I got a great picture of her and Melissa hugging each other.
Oh,
that's good.
But Melissa like handled it real strong. Then all of a sudden, like by the time I was feeling okay, we roll back into Jackson. Melissa completely loses
That's it right there.
She's like, here we are in Jackson, and she's not here. For the first time in my life, in the last 19 years.
Hey, did you watch Mahoney's episode? Mm-hmm. He went.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, whenever he come in the bar that night, and I looked at him and I said, "Bud, are you all right?" And he just dropped his head.
He said no.
And he said no. And I said, and so he wasn't going to go to comedy. And I just went over and gave the tickets to his wife. I said, "Would you take his
Take
ass
his
in
ass
there?"
over, he
I
needs
said,
it.
"We've got to get him laughing." I said, I've never said, now it's going to happen to me. I tell you, man, these kids, man, how in the hell have we blinked?
Well, you
and
don't
we're-
realize. You don't realize.
You don't
Like
realize
I
it.
thought I was ready. I'm like, oh hell, we're going to take her out there.
Well-
And listen, guys, this isn't a sad story for
No.
Christ's sake.
Nah.
I mean, same with your. I mean, this isn't a sad
This
story.
is a success.
Hey, dude, we've done a hell of a job, right? I mean, you know, we got kids that are wanting to jump out the nest and do things, and we're sitting here acting like big boo-hoo, you know.
And you talk all
sorry
that trash
pricks.
as they're growing up. That's the thing.
Oh, yeah,
Oh my God!
yeah,
I only
yeah.
got so many more years, and I'm gonna be down. I'm gonna be this, and then when it gets there, you're like, man, this sucks.
Oh man, I've been guilty of it. I've talked on
Yeah.
this show like, well, shit, man, we'll be one less in the house. Here we go. I mean, this is what it's all about. You work them to that, and you get them the hell out, and away they go. And then you sit there at the time of it, and it's like, well, shit, I don't want them to leave. And then you see how it affects the ones behind them. The two little ones are looking at her broken hearted, and I'm like, my God, it's like somebody died.
So both my boys, we had incidents where the emotions broke out. But my oldest one's the best. He's not a crier.
He's
and
tougher than
he
hell.
don't want to give you like
Yeah,
he
yeah.
ain't gonna let you through to that emotion.
Yeah, yeah.
But so when he was at first station in DC,
Yeah.
I had to take his car down to him. He bought. I drove it down. Now this is he'd already been through boot camp with
Oh,
for
yeah,
a little bit.
yeah.
And he went through his schooling. Now he's in DC, and I had to take his car down. Right.
Yeah.
So we went through DC on the seeing all the sights that day. So we get to a train, and we ride a train to a station, and he has to take a different train back to Andrews, and I got to take a train to the airport.
Yeah.
And we were good, and he never cries. All of a sudden, I seen it,
Oh,
broke it down.
that was it. Yeah.
So I'm driving. I'm on this train, man,
Yeah.
by myself. This big son of a bitch,
Yeah.
sobbing.
Oh. Well, he's crying right now. Hey,
I'm like, my God.
Oh, I know, man. Hey,
People are looking at me like, what is this big son of a bitch crying?
oh, it's the hardest.
Did
thing.
someone take his ham sandwich?
It's
What
so,
happened?
Oh,
man?
it's so hard. I'll tell you, like, that's what got me. Like when we were finally telling her goodbye, like Helena had been strong as hell.
Yeah,
like she was ready. You know, she wanted to go there.
Very
And
concrete.
like she had done great. Like, and we had gone out to dinner. Like, we'd moved all of her shit in, and like we went out to dinner, and she was cool. Like, hey, everything's fine. Then the next day, dude, like the day, like we were dropping her off.
Yeah.
And like Abram and Millie hugged her and all that, and then they got a little emotional. Well, then by golly, the tears started flowing on her end, And well, that I can't take.
Yeah.
Because she is not one like
to break her down.
I mean,
exactly
listen. Love her to death. One of the greatest people I've ever met in my life, Elena Stacey.
Yeah.
Not a crier. Okay, she's just not. Like,
must be that neighborhood. You're over there,
man.
Yeah.
But boy,
Get emotional, man.
Hey,
That's guys do.
when I see water coming out of her eyes, buddy.
Oh yeah, it's over. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm the biggest soup sandwich, mushy bastard that's ever come along.
A lot more than your wife. Your wife's
my wife's hardcore, dude.
Yeah. Always has
and she looks at me in disgust when I do that.
I just hear
See, my wife only cries for my kids.
Oh, see, for me, hey,
tough
listen, guys. I mean, I'll admit, I'll cry at the drop of a hat. I will.
think that's
hey,
just
you
big
take
guys,
me,
man.
you take me to a Disney movie. I'm a mess. Like, I won't watch a movie about animals. Like with Home Alone or anything. Like if an animal
Home Alone. There's no animals in Home Alone.
No, not Home Alone.
Wait.
No. What was the one with
Alone?
Christmas time, you did get emotional at Rudolph. I remember talking.
Oh
about
God,
that.
I couldn't handle it. Just because they were making fun of it.
I'm trying to figure out where Home Alone was. Is it when the
Not
parents
Home
came
Alone.
home?
I'm sorry. I got the wrong one. What was the one that it was a bunch of dogs, and they got lost and they had to come back. And this is back in the '90s. It was Far From Home or something like that. I don't know what the fuck it was. It was like there was a golden retriever and a bulldog or whatever, and they were lost and their family moved
Got that
away.
big box of tissues. There.
Oh, hey guys!
You got a recliner? Are you couching or recliner, dude?
I can't get in the recliner because I'm too into the goddamn movie. Like I'm just a mess.
Are you hiding it? See, I'll tell you,
I'm
that
admitting.
I've done that before. Where something will catch that emotional nerve.
Oh yeah.
And then all of a sudden you feel that. But my wife, she'll bust my balls as much as everyone else will. So I gotta sit there. I'm over here like this going.
Yeah,
well,
I don't care. My wife and I have that kind of relationship, but like she'll look at me like, dude, like you're the guy that sits here and cries at a movie, but then like you're the biggest asshole in the world.
Everybody
like,
thinks that my
everything.
wife is like the sweetest little person on the planet. You people wonder why I'm like this. It's because she gives it right to me every day.
Oh yeah, my Melissa will check me up immediately. Like she's not generally emotional about shit. Like I'm very emotional. Always have been. Like and like I said, like you guys that played football for me look at me like, hey man, that guy could throw a speech out there.
Oh, yeah.
And you know why? Because I was so goddamn emotional. I mean, like hell, I'm getting ready to play Logan. I'm fired up, dude. Like I'm ready to lay it out there on the line. Yeah, and it's no different. Like, hey, I mean, I played football that way. I coached football that way. I do my life that way. Like I get like hell, I'll explode in anger, or I'll melt down and cry like a little girl. Yeah.
Well, moving on from all the crying.
That's terrible.
Yeah, we're about to, I don't want to shed a tear on the show. I ain't gonna lie to you guys.
We're what, about 2.5?
Just over 2.
Just over 2?
Yeah.
Probably a good time to wrap her up, boys.
Yeah, it is, man. You got anything else to say, Chris? Anything
Hey
else
man,
you
I
wanna share?
appreciate you guys.
Hey,
having
no
me.
problem, man. Cheers.
I've been dying to be over here, man. I knew there'd be good conversations.
Yeah.
We're booked. This was a spur of the moment. You've been on our he's around, he's close list.
Yeah.
Let's get him when we can. Some of the I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying like some of the guests, we're trying to work out like logistics for. Not all of them, but even Jennifer, she's over towards Chillicothe.
Yeah.
The guy that was supposed to be on here tonight was from Chillicothe. So
Well, one thing I will say is this: if you are thinking of selling your home or buying a home, call this guy. I can't think of somebody that I would trust more in that situation.
He is not a natural salesman.
Well,
he's going to give you a genuine.
He will treat
sales.
you. He will treat you right, and I cannot think of a better guy.
He's been in your situation. Yep.
Yeah.
That's how it worked from, man. You can't, I've been in that situation where you just get sold something.
Yeah, you've been in it. That's not you.
Not me.
That's not you. No.
And you know what?
You were civic before you needed to be.
I don't have the listen, I don't have the capability
Yeah.
to sit there and tell you a bunch of farting, because I'm going to tell you what happens. The stress would get to me.
How are you doing with the? How are you doing with the keeping up with the technology of it?
See, that's easy for me. We had technology's always been a thing with the prison systems.
Oh, okay.
So technology don't bother me at all.
But I'm saying like the marketing technology.
No, the Keller Williams model is awesome.
Okay.
And that's why it
You can
helps
let
us.
it work for you.
It works for you. That's why we have. I mean, the reach we have and the success we have is because we have all these people that are just constantly
Working for you.
training for teaching us and
Your
showing.
situation is very similar to my insurance situation. I'm what they call a semi-captive agent, so I have to use the company,
Yeah.
and I have those tools, those resources. It's great. So
Yeah.
I mean, and honestly, it seems to be a pretty effective model, or efficient and effective model.
Well, I think the fact you just seen. I mean, I think Kelly in general, before she got part of Keller Williams, her success wrote itself. But then now that we're, in a couple of weeks, we'll be opening up the office in Chillicothe, and it's just because of the model, but her driving us, and then we're the right group of people. Our personalities are different. And which works perfect, and you get a guy like
I think I know all of them. There's you, Amanda, Kendra,
Rebecca.
I don't know Rebecca.
She's out of Waverly, but she's been
Amanda's been one of my best buddies since high school.
She told me tonight. You know what? She
Tried to call me.
She was in. Well, she was afraid because she said that you might be able to tell some what she can classify as hood rat stories.
I could.
And so I think she was worried that I might get you to tell some of those.
Where have we messed out? Let's hear it.
Yeah. What's a good story I could tell?
And I just want to make sure we know we got her. I can't
Well,
wait for her.
I don't have any that I can tell on the fly.
Oh.
But I can tell you that she's been a really good friend of mine since probably 1998. There was a whole group of us. It was all big buddies. And what was funny is I was actually hunting on a piece of ground the other day that all of us used to hang out at. And I was just thinking about all of them, and I thought, damn, I got old quick. Like, it feels like yesterday we was all just out here building a fire, roasting marshmallows, just being innocent kids. And now all of a sudden here I'm 40 out here with my kids.
Innocent ass.
So Pudge, now listen, I want to say this. I want to this summer. Now, Chad has participated in the O'Boyle pool parties.
I never get invited.
Yes.
No,
Yeah,
that's
beautiful.
not true.
I never get invited.
We have open invitations.
This gentleman invites everybody.
I've never invited.
That is,
My
You
son,
guys would
my
have
son
these-
occasionally goes over and invites himself.
no, it's not. He don't invite. He'll just look at me. It's great because he'll walk up and I'm gonna tell you.
If we
something.
drive-
I love it. I love it because
Is he one of those kids that even if O'Boyle's not whole baby, just look over and take a dip?
But see,
My son is a little different guy. I mean, he is not afraid. He'll be like, "Hey, Boyle's outside. I'm gonna go ask him. I think
'Cause
they're over."
here's
And
my-
I'm like, "Abram, no." And I've
Hey,
had to apologize to this guy. I don't know how many
Did you
times.
have that neighbor though that you could do that to?
I was the kid.
Yeah,
that one,
I was that kid too.
like,
you were
have a
that
pool?
kid too.
You
Yeah.
have a pool?
Yeah.
So I tell them
Well,
all the time.
I
Go tell
just
your
feel
parents.
so.
I
It
think
makes
it's
me
great.
feel so bad. I've had to apologize to you many
You don't
times.
have to though. 'cause
That's
my-
America, boys.
My son,
That's America.
my son, every time he sees O'Boyle in the summer, hey, what are you guys doing? Hey, can I come over and swim?
Oh, yeah.
Like he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
and listen, my wife, she's
Loves it.
every time she sees him, she tells him.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it's not his fault.
You
Yeah.
guys kill me.
Yeah.
Hey, that's
it just
America.
makes me feel bad.
Don't you think that's the definition of America?
So,
Well, like I'm
When the
trying to
neighborhood
teach
kid-
the boy. I'm trying to teach the boy to not invite himself to things.
I want to do. I want you guys to bring the show on the road. We'll do it from the pool deck. Drink some. The pool parties
Well,
get crazy on Fleet.
there-
Well,
They're-
as long as Abram can be swimming, I mean,
You're in there, right?
because he asks him. It's so inappropriate.
Well,
No,
it
it's
was
not.
just-
It's not.
it's
It's not
so
bad.
inappropriate.
Was you back here this summer? Whenever I forget what the hell I was doing. I just stopped by one night and you guys was in the backyard and the cops showed up.
Yeah,
Witt and
Jeremy. Yeah.
I forget the other guy's name. Looks like Jason Bourne. What's that guy's name?
Oh, Bobby Grimes.
No, it wasn't Bobby. No.
I know you're talking.
Yeah,
That's just not right, but funny.
he does look like
He
him, doesn't
does.
he? Yeah. I forget that guy's name, but he was with Whit, and they pulled up out there, and we got our picture with him.
Oh, yeah.
And Abram was out there, and next thing you know, he's butt-ass naked out there running sprints over towards O'Boyle's, and I was like, this kid, he don't give a damn.
No. Well, I mean, he sees O'Boyle, he'll be like, hey, O'Boyle's outside. I'm like, don't you go.
No, and my wife, every time she sees him.
Oh, yeah. He'll say that. He knows her name, too. He'll be like, Lynette's out there. I'm going to ask her if I can swim. I'm like, Abram.
Here's what Lynette does, too, when she sees him. He'll say, hey, go swimming? And my wife was like, yeah. Come on back here. And, the only thing we say is you got to have one of your parents because if we're not back here or something.
Yeah.
But I don't care because you know what? I tell everybody all the time. I'm like, I was that kid.
Well, he's a summer away from being able to touch the bottom.
We just think it's horrific that he invites himself. I mean, it's embarrassing. He sees O'Boyle, he'll be like, hey, O'Boyle's out. He calls him O'Boyle. He sees him, he's like, hey, O'Boyle's out.
You know the neighborhood. You know Fleetwood. You know how small that street is. Right?
Son, I grew up over there.
Okay, so you know how small that street is.
That's my old stomping ground right there.
So my neighbors who, I'm great. They really like me because this is nothing. For me to pack that little street down, especially since I've opened that pool.
Oh, yeah.
And
I never get invited.
Oh, well, that's not true.
Well, you just got to invite yourself like my son.
It's an open invitation, man.
This is the problem.
Open invitation.
Well, here.
That's a cover-up for...
Well...
For you to get invited.
No, I'll back the guy, because here's the thing he does. Like, listen, man, Abram will ask him, hey, can I come swim in your pool?
Yeah.
I mean, which is very embarrassing. And you know what O'Boyle says? Well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't care.
Well, we'd get done jeeping, and they'd be like, well, he's in one of his moods. Hey, Chad, do you want to come over to the pool? Pudge is in one of them zones.
Well, no, I mean, we went over there.
Because I'd be like,
Jeep
we're going to do this. And
he's got such a great setup back
I
there.
know.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. I built a little privacy thing on top of the deck.
Beautiful.
And then we're adding some stuff. It's gonna be off the chain.
I can't wait. I'll try to keep my son away from you.
No, I
apologize.
Listen, my wife is at that point now where
she needs that.
She kids, come on.
Yeah. Well, she's so nice about it. I just feel like they're being too nice. Like they're like, well, okay, but I feel bad about.
We always the first time he did it was the best. The first time he ever did it, he wasn't quite comfortable with me yet. So he rode his bike and passed me a couple times, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I came up West Lawn one day, or Orange Street, and I was like, man, there is a kid up there just giving this bike hell. I mean, he's just, I mean, he's got the shoulders. I mean, he's cranking, and I get up beside him, and he's shirtless, and it's Abram.
Yeah.
And I look over at myself. I pulled up beside him. He looks at me, and he pedal harder.
Like, who are his parents?
And I look over, and I drive over to the side of him, and he's riding his bike, and I'm thinking, man, he's just out here just giving this thing hell by himself. And I said, what are you doing? And he looked at me and gave me this look, and then all of a sudden he was like, hey.
I know that guy.
He's like, it's you, Patch. And I said, you better get home, son. And he was just like, no. And I was like, yes. Well, there's hope for humanity, folks.
He rode past me the first time, and he turned back around.
He's 8.
He did one of these cool things, man. It was the coolest thing ever. I'll give him credit.
Yeah.
He's going to be a salesman.
Oh, there's no question.
He looks at me, he goes, swimming today?
Oh,
and I said,
is that what he said?
Yeah, he says, you swimming today? And I said, I think I am. It's hot out here. He goes, can I go swimming too? I said, buddy, you can go. You tell as long as your mom and dad's okay with you, come on over here swimming. So then after that,
3 seconds later, he's over in trunks. You go swim,
ready to go. And my wife is, hey, listen, my wife is Lynette's like, any of the kids we know, come on over.
That's good stuff.
But then we sit there, we're horrified.
You shouldn't be.
He's like, hey, O'Boyle said I could come over there swimming. I said, dude.
So I also made me a little redneck swimming bar, right?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
So I took electric spool, and I cut it out, and I put a cooler down in it. Okay. Just a regular cooler, and Beautiful. I put a little. So it's just down there, so you can go up. I got high and
from the pool. Style. You just slide in. Well, and see, like your next door neighbor Hayden. Mm-hmm. My kids, this is another embarrassing deal. But no, I used to do this as a boy because I grew up right across the street from your house, and we used to go to Hayden's and ask him for popsicles. Mm-hmm. But now my kids, if Hayden is on the patio, they roll up there on their bikes. Like, hey, Hayden, you got any popsicles? Like, he did it one time, and but like,
Does
I
he
know
have
how
popsicle?
Hayden is. Like, Hayden
Probably keeps popsicles.
on purpose.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. That's
he-
great.
So I know we
But
have,
like, it's embarrassing.
Well,
Like,
you
I'm
know
like,
what?
hey,
Maybe
you
Hayden,
shouldn't- you shouldn't
and
be.
Hayden
My
was like, hey,
philosophy
look,
was-
dude. Hayden's like, hey, Chad.
Well-
This brings me back to the days when you and Michael would come up here and do that. Me and Michael Morgan.
But
Yeah.
but here's the deal. So let's say Abram sees O'Boyle out there one of these days. He's probably going to straighten up and act right.
Well, you're right. Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
you're
it's-
right. Now that's
you
true.
know,
He
where-
respects it.
Yeah, where my
Yeah.
kid out in the country, he's not seeing anybody. He ain't giving a shit.
Oh,
You know?
no,
He
no, but
don't
it's
know.
funny. Like, my kids, like, they learn the, hey, Hayden, popsicles.
Yeah.
Oh, Boyle, pool. Yeah.
Hayden. Now listen, Hayden, man, we
he's great.
moved in there first time. We've had the Buckeye parties in the backyard
yeah.
and stuff, and we've always told Hayden, you know, he gets his scotch.
Yeah.
I said,
yeah.
Hayden, anytime we have something going on, come on over.
Come
so
on, yeah.
he's comfortable. He'll start coming over.
Oh,
so
good.
I was out of town one weekend, and my older son was home. He was home, and he called me. He said, "Dad, I'm gonna have a party." I said, "Buddy, you can, as long as you don't tear my house up and no one's dead." In there,
Yeah, fire it up.
I'm okay. Don't do nothing illegal.
Yeah.
So midway through the night, I forgot where we was at. We was out of town, but he calls me. He's a little drunk. He said, "Dad, the greatest thing just happened." Now you picture this is a bunch of 24, 25-year-olds, like 23.
Hayden rolls up.
Hayden rolls. He walks in the house.
Yeah.
Walks in the house because it's an open invitation. And he said, "Dad," he sat down on the couch, started talking off with this scotch, and started talking to every one of us.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a picture of all of it. I said, "That is great, man." He just walked in and started
Well,
talking. to
I
everyone.
had a big party down at my house.
I didn't invited that either. Was you invited to that?
You were invited to. This has been 3-4 years ago. Yeah.
Hey, but hold on. You know, Pudge says this thing about no one inviting him. How many times you actually invited Pudge to stuff? Pudge don't come to stuff.
No. Well, you don't have to invite him. Like, if it's there, you just come.
Pudge
yeah.
don't come to stuff.
But like
I go to everything.
Well,
I can.
I had told my father-in-law. Yeah. Well, Hayden's yeah, he lives right there. I told him to come down. We're going to be in the backyard and stuff. And my father-in-law thinks that Hayden makes the best Bloody Mary mix
Oh, I've heard that.
ever alive. And
You guys
I
haven't
was-
indulged?
well, so Shane and Curtis are sitting there. Well, here comes Hayden down there with the mix.
Okay.
And now Hayden doesn't come halfway. Like, Hayden, look, I mean, he knows what it's all about. He ran the Moose for years.
Oh,
And
okay.
Like, hey, he shows up with not only the Bloody Mary mix, but the vodka and everything else, and
ready to go.
completely takes the party over. You know, it was phenomenal. What a great man Hayden
that's
Euler
great.
is.
That's
Yeah.
that's one thing in town you get. That's one
Yeah.
thing. You do get that.
Well, and I mean, what's so funny is, like, you know, I grew up across the street.
Yeah.
Like, Hayden was giving me and Morgan popsicles
Yeah.
when we were my kids' age.
Yeah.
And now I got my crazy son
That's
going
probably
up
great
there
for him.
asking for popsicles, and he's doing the same thing, man. Like, he's lived in the same house there forever.
Yeah, your son's the cooking thing on I've been watching. My God, man! I
His
tell
son
you,
is made for the camera.
He
dude.
is. I'm telling you right now. Me and my wife were watching it, and I'm sitting there going, "Man, he's going to take over Chubby Bartenders one
That
day."
gentleman there, he'll do more than that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going
You
to take
know,
it far beyond this.
You guys are going to make fun of me. I'm worried. Like, I hope that I'm not like creating something that we all regret.
Oh, dude, it's beautiful.
Because these aren't my ideas.
Oh, hey, you can tell.
You can tell
dude.
it's his because he's buying it.
Yeah.
He's buying. It's his thing.
Well, and he's owning it.
He
Yeah.
wants to
Like
do one
when-
of these every day. Like
Well, he will. Yeah.
But see, like, man, I tell you, I did this whole entertainment thing, and not that I did it at a high level, but
All right, boys, if we're
But
going
hang
to
on.
keep
No,
going, I'll be
we're,
right
hey,
back.
we're gonna hang it up. We're gonna hang it up. But yeah, he's
Just hold it, Chad.
I just worry that he's
I'll do my best.
It ain't gonna hurt you too bad.
yeah. So hey, Chris O'Boyle, ladies and gentlemen,
Thanks a lot, man.
look him up.
Love you
me.
guys.
See ya.